Hello, everyone. Welcome to game
Hey.
D&D Night 2.
Hi.
Hello.
Here we begin where we left off. As you all come up to the hole that was in the ground, you can see that there are bits of root that are kind of intertwining, and there's pebbles that are just falling off from where you saw the man go down into this deep black hole. You hear the swamp around you bubbling and growing louder now as the forest seems to be awakening and teeming with life again.
Once more onto the breach.
Nap, what you rolling?
I think he's just playing with his
Nothing.
die right now. Anyway, we were in the middle of a merry chase, were we not? Shall we head in after him?
Yes.
Sounds good, I guess.
Also, is it nighttime or is it just dark? I can't recall. I can't remember.
It's still daytime.
Okay.
How much
cool.
light do we see?
It seemed as if it were dusk outside because of the veil that went overhead.
That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we were pursuing the machine guy into the hole, right?
The Tezzeret, if you will.
Tezzeret.
Magic the Gathering reference.
Is that where y'all heading in?
Yes.
About Magic the Gathering? Yes. Let's head.
I hop in. With abandon, I hop in.
Who goes in first?
I hop in.
You
The
hop in
halfling.
first.
The
The
halfling has grown
halfling-
headstrong.
Jumps. How do you jump in? Face first, feet first.
Feet first.
Feet
Carefully,
first.
carelessly.
You start sliding down this hole, and you're bumping up against the soil and the rock.
Ow, 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 oh. This is
Uh,
rough.
And as you get down off of this slidey hole, it spits you out from kind of a ceiling-looking area down into this very dark part of some kind of cavern. And there's dimly lit torches that are flickering around.
I'm gonna
Well,
follow a bit
I'm not
cautiously.
dead.
You see 3 different pathways in front of you.
So I'm going to
And
follow a bit more
also-
cautiously.
What appears to be 3 circular symbols that are on the ground that are in front of each pathway.
Markers. Okay. So I'm going to follow him a bit more cautiously.
And I will bring up the rear.
Okay, so as you all go down into the same hole and you're spit back out, you hear the tunnel that you went through begin to close.
Is it collapsing or just closing itself?
It seemed to have closed with force. It doesn't seem like there's any debris falling down into the hole. So you cannot guess that it caved in or anything.
Well, that doesn't seem like a good thing.
Nope.
No way to go but forward, I suppose. Halfling, what do you see?
Well,
Or,
actually,
wait,
right
by now we're
the
with him,
2
aren't we?
people that would be able to see the best would be Nick and Moxie
Yeah,
because of your
halflings.
dark vision.
A 19 plus.
That's an 18 total.
You all are able to
What?
see
Oh, yours. Okay.
all 3 pathways.
20
They lead
total.
off, each
Nice eye patch, Shane.
designated with a door. There's one to the left, in front of you, and to the right. And in front of these doorways are some kind of symbols that are on the ground, these circular symbols.
They wouldn't be familiar symbols to any of us, would they?
Which one of you... No.
Right, would any of us
Um,
recognize the language?
I think either language or our artifacts.
No. Which one of you is more well versed in creature languages?
Let's
I
see.
know common, giant, halfling, and undercommon.
I have
So-
celestial, common, elvish, and halfling.
No.
Draconic, primordial, infernal, and common.
You would be the one that would not even necessarily be the closest. No, they don't appear that you all understand their meaning.
Unfortunate.
They're very shoddy looking, but the symbols that are etched into them are not as shoddily made as the rest of it.
Do we just pick a door and go?
Unless you can understand what these runes mean.
Nope.
I'd say let's wait. Actually,
Are either of you able to track? Can we figure where he went?
can we make out footprints?
Roll a perception check.
Ooh, I have +3 on that.
I have +1. I've got 13, 14 total.
You
Ah, man,
do
I got a
not
critical
detect
fail.
anything.
I can cast a cantrip to make it a little bit brighter to see if we can find them that way.
If you wish to do that.
I cast light.
A small glowing orb of this bright shining light begins as a very dim source, and then it begins to get brighter as it circles the room and heads toward the top, and it just kind of floats there, spinning around, providing a better source of light for the three of you.
Need a perception roll for the feet, or can we see them more clearly?
You cannot, unless you are really looking right now, so a perception check might help again, because you all are forgetting a very important detail from last night about this individual.
He's used to being tracked.
He's not just used to being tracked. Guys, he floats.
Oh, right.
No.
No, that's the other guy. No, this guy was lurching and he was mechanical. He had saw blades. He didn't really. How did he move?
He did
Float.
walk.
Okay.
He did walk. But
I got a 19 on my perception, by the way.
he doesn't have normal feet. He has talons. So we're looking for what looks like bird feet on the ground, which looks very different from humanoid footprints.
Okay.
So, looking on the ground, you can actually make out 3 sets of footprints. So, the 3 sets of footprints go as so. You see smaller footprints that are about this size, that are leaning off toward the left and the right. You then see what appear to be indentations with 5 sharp, seem like blades almost, that have dug into the stone like this. And they are going off frontwards and to the right. So this kind of claw-like indentation into the stone goes off in 2 separate directions.
Do we
Or
go for
2
the
different
center?
doors.
Do we go for the center first and then go to the right?
Yes, most is typically best for trying to navigate mazes, basically. So I vote center.
That's the only one with a single set of footprints going through it.
Again, I'm no tracker. I defer to you. Center is what you think. Then center shall we go.
Let's go center.
All right.
So, how do you do this? You get toward the center door, and there is the circular symbol that is in front of it. The door is not a normal door.
No.
It does not have any handles. It doesn't seem to open by normal means.
Well, the circle, does
stand-
it appear to be a pressure plate or something?
I stand on the stone to see if it does anything.
Standing on the stone, the door
That's interesting.
opens, and you see that the interior of this corridor is quite cramped, maybe about 4 feet in diameter. And
Okay, we're walking
torches-
single file.
Torches line the room, dimly lit, and they're smaller torches.
Shall we?
Well, I suggest one of you lead the way, and the other take the rear, since you'd be more likely to see something coming.
Before we
Then-
proceed,
Yes.
take a step forward off of the plate.
I go ahead and do so. Does the door automatically close?
The door slams shut.
I had a feeling. So,
Interesting.
um,
Oh.
Perception check to look around the room to see if there's something we can pick up to put on the plate so we can keep the door open.
A boulder.
Yeah, I'll
perhaps.
allow it.
My perception ain't so good. That's a 7.
You can see that there's a bunch of rocks around you.
Yeah.
It's a cave.
Yeah.
11.
16.
Nick is able to see that some of these stones that are embedded into the walls could possibly, with enough force, be broken and released. But there are no loose stones laying on this floor.
Well, I have a long pole. Let's lever one of these bad boys out.
Yeah.
With a long enough lever, you can move the world.
Strength check.
Strength check. We roll a 7 plus 3. 11. 10.
You stick your bow staff in there and you try to get the most loose-looking rock out of it. It barely starts to budge
I'll double his efforts,
by
Well,
doing.
I don't want to
helping him out.
Okay, both of you roll another strength check for me.
Very well. Blip.
I've got a 14 total.
9. God.
With
Terrible
both
roll.
of your strength combined, this rock dislodges itself and it falls down onto the ground.
Perfect. Teamwork.
Nice.
And when it fell to the ground,
Oh no.
it made a very loud, echoing sound.
They didn't hear that. But we should still move quickly.
Yes, very. Let's try and get this rock on there.
Roll it over to the button. Oh, yes. Strength check.
You then start to hear what are a lot of footsteps that are running toward you from one of the doorways, but you
Shit.
can't tell which one.
Moxie, you're closest. Which way are they coming?
I take a
While
That's-
she's
That's
figuring
a
that out.
16. That's a 16 for a perception check.
You can, by listening very closely in the heat of the moment, as you all start to sweat from being extremely nervous and starting to get a little bit scared, toward the left, you start to hear some of these footsteps coming.
All right. No.
I
reason
move
change
to the
that.
furthest right corner, the furthest
Or-
point away from that hall as possible, and ready my crossbow.
I have an idea. I have a rope. We'll tie it to the boulder. We run through, yank the rock after us.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
We move the rock quickly to the pressure plate.
The rock is placed upon the pressure plate and the door.
All right.
Raise.
tie the
Quickly,
rope
tie a
around.
rope.
Tying. Need to roll for it?
Well, you tie it around yourself, the part that you're going to need to roll for. You all are wanting to bring this rock with you, correct?
At least
Ideally,
off the
yes.
plate.
Yeah, at the very least off the plate.
You better hope that you can yank this thing with all your might.
It'll
All
be
right.
all three of us pulling the rope simultaneously.
Okay, so so you all are going at the same time?
Yes.
Okay, so you are now through and you start to hear banging on the doors.
All right.
do you do?
We yank
Bardic
that sucker down.
inspiration. bardic inspiration for him to have an extra D6, I believe, on his next roll.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I believe that's how
And
it works.
are all three of you check that for me one more
Yes,
time?
I'm checking.
And the three of you are trying to pull this at the same time, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to need all three of you to roll your
Gains
strength
one
modifier.
bardic inspiration die, which is a D6. Once within the next 10 minutes, creature can roll the die and add the number rolled to one ability check, attack roll, or saving
Holy
throw.
crap.
You got a nat 20.
Is that a nat
21.
20?
21.
As a nat 20.
Well, all right. So
I got blackjack.
27.
well, so Mick and Moxie, Kai has a hold of this rope, and you all are starting to get behind him, and you're telling him, "All right, we're gonna pull this together on 3." And it in your head, Kai, you hear the words of one of your mentors. Your mind must be at ease for you to tap into your key. And you see almost like a slight glowing orange, yellowish color that fills the palm of your hand as you grasp this rope and pull it with all your might. The stone flings right back, knocking against the walls, knocking off one of the torches. The light goes out, and it is now in the hallway with you all, and the door slams shut as you see multiple shadows that start flooding into the room that was behind you.
Beautiful.
What luck.
That was amazing.
I don't know.
Damn.
Let's not worry about it right now. We must keep moving.
Yes.
Before they break this door too.
Kai, once you look at your hands, you notice that the glowing dissipates, and you have no clue really what just happened, but you do remember hearing about accessing your ki and your chi energy from your monk masters.
I'm gonna have to definitely look more into that once we have some downtime.
Right. So what do we see
you
down
do?
the hall?
You see another one of those pressure plates, but it takes a hard left. You can still see very slight indentations that are actually along the sides of the wall now. They're not on the floor, but it looks to be those similar markings that you were following earlier.
It looks like he was avoiding the pressure plate.
Okay. Follow the track. Same track as before. Hopefully it's the right trail.
Let's just avoid the thing on the floor this time. He's got his limbs all over the walls.
I'm going to retrieve my rope before I forget that. And yes, what she said.
Well, the rock is still attached to it.
Well, yeah, I'm retrieving it. I am
Are
detaching
you
it
all
from the rock.
hauling the rock with you?
I wasn't planning on it.
I mean, you can if you want to. It's still attached to the rope, but
You
do
know
what
what?
you want.
The DM is, I think, giving us a clue. I feel some
I'm
divine
not giving
inspiration.
you
We
shit.
should
I'm
take
just
this
telling you
back.
to just bring it with you if you want.
Do you want to bring the rock with you?
Yes,
You
let's
can
take
give it
it.
a fucking name
Thank
for
you,
all
Nat.
I care.
Thank you, Nab,
Call
for the
it
meme
rock.
reference.
What?
I shall name this rock Toby. No, not really.
Tobias.
But I am going to take it with us in case we need it again.
You
All
notice
right.
that it is very heavy yet again.
Oh, wow, this weighs more than the halfling's breakfast.
Should we maybe just leave the rock?
That seems prudent.
Well, then, I will untie the rope and stow it.
You do so. Walking down this hallway, it is extremely cramped, and the only way that you can move forward is in a single file kind of motion. So which one of you is actually first
Me.
in this situation? Moving forward again, you keep going down this hallway, and you get to one of those similar circles yet again.
On the floor?
Mm-hmm. Before it takes a hard left turn.
Moxie, what do your Kiefling eyes see?
There's a plate on the floor and a cavern to the left.
Sorry, couldn't resist the Lord of the Rings reference there.
It's a 19 plus 1 perception to see what I can see.
That's a 14 to see if there's another door.
Peering down the left hallway, you can see a door that has bars that are along the front of it.
How big are the bars?
Is it like a jail cell
rather
bar?
small, kind of like jail cell bars, except it's about this big, and it's toward the top middle of the door. And
so
this
the
door
is-
does have a handle.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Someone want to try the handle?
Where did the
you have
tracks
to
go?
get to the door first.
Do the tracks
Can
go
I
that way?
get
are you all
around?
going on top of the? Are you stepping over the plate, or what are you doing?
I'm
Our
going to
guide-
step around it as best I can.
Our guide has advised us to avoid it the same as the person we're pursuing, so I shall as well.
You do so.
Halfling, do you need help?
No, I can hop around it.
So now you come up to this door. The handle's right there. What do you do?
I listen at the door to see if I can hear something on the other side of it before I go throwing it open. Because that's
roll a
always works.
D20 perception check for me.
I was just doing that. My ears don't like me now. That's a 7.
Aw.
You hear muffled, like,
Can I get up on my toes to look through the window?
Do you need
Or am
help
I too
looking out
short?
that
Yeah.
window?
you can.
All right. I get up on my toes to see if I can look through the edge without being seen.
Looking into the bars, it's very dark on the other side, and you can make out some kind of figure that is in the background.
Dark even for his dark vision?
Her.
Her, right.
Yes.
Let's see here. That's a 15 on perception to see if I can see it a little better.
Focusing your gaze, you see that what is in front of the door is not what it appears to be. It seems as if there's some kind of veil that you are looking through.
And I don't have to spell yet.
Can you poke it? Poke.
I can try. I don't know if it's wise, but I can try. I grab a nearby pebble and toss it at the barrier through the bars. I'm not about to go touching it.
As you throw this pebble, it passes through the bars and past the veil, and you see the veil in a spell of magical energy goes down through the hallway in a wisping tornado-like fashion through all of you down the right that you just took, and you cannot see it.
So we just got thrown.
No, you all are still
pebble.
standing
The
in
pebble
your
got
spots.
thrown.
Oh. Well, let's not touch that thing again.
That would have taken my hand off.
But now when you look, because you kind of did this and you look through, and now you can see better, and there appears to be somebody tied up in there.
Oh, that's a great way to dispel magic.
Psst. Psst.
You just hear,
What do you see?
There's a person tied up on the other end of the room.
Oh, can we help him?
Is there anyone
I
else
don't
around?
know. There's only one person in there, and they are not happy.
The room is empty? Otherwise?
Otherwise, it seems to be.
I charge in recklessly to save a person.
go for the
Oh,
door
no.
handle, and it is very locked.
It's not just locked, it is very locked.
Hmm.
One good turn deserves another.
Well,
Are
just
we
stand
going
there,
to
help me.
try? All right, let's try strength check. As useless as that's gonna be.
Ram!
Doing what?
I'm gonna ram the door. 14.
You
That was a
ram your
standard
entire
10.
body against the door and it slightly budges. You notice that it's not made of stone or anything, it's a wooden door.
Wood.
Do I have anything fire-based at this level? I don't think I do. I don't think I do.
Can we set this on? Wait a minute. I inspect the wood. Is it solid? Is it worn? Is it aged?
It's a
Does it have
very
any weak spots?
it's a very worn type of wood. Seems slightly sturdy.
It's got a
Whoa.
tinderbox.
Well, my friend, it seems you're being used as a lever today. I jam it in, try to pry it open.
Using your strength, ping, the door flings open, and you're able, the light coming into the room, you see a pointed-eared individual that is bound up and tied in a corner. As the light hits his eyes, he opens them, and you see he is bound and gagged.
Can I tell whether the figure is halfling or elf?
Yes.
Too tall to be a halfling.
So he's an elf.
Elven
Elven.
in nature, it would appear.
All right. I
Oh,
rush up to him.
fine. I was gonna say,
I rush
oh,
up to him.
fine. We'll undo the tying then. you stand there and watch.
I was just waiting to see what
No,
else
I
the
was
DM
talking
had
to
to say.
No, I was
Okay.
talking to Big Nick. I was just like, oh, fine. If you're going to be that way, we'll untie him.
I rush
Our
up to him,
races don't typically get along. I'm
Kneel down
hoping we
next to
can
him.
be friends.
and I look at him and say, "If I untie you, will you attack us?" Judging by what I'm seeing here in the stream, I'm guessing this is Nab's character, and that head shaking was his response. So I'm going to go ahead and untie him.
You are now unbound and ungagged, Nab. You may speak.
Oh, thank you.
And what
Uh,
did
are
you do
we
to get
friends?
into this predicament?
I assume so. Where are you lot?
All things considered, moderately well.
Did he
I'm
say,
glad
"How
to
are
hear
you,"
it.
or "Who are you"?
I said, who are you?
I am
Oh, I
Kai
heard
King,
how.
a monk from Chillcliff.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Chillcliff.
I am
Not
McNick
my name.
from a city a well away.
Nice to meet you, Mr. McNick.
I'm Moxie from Far Peak.
Nice to meet you as well, Miss Moxie.
What's your story?
Name is Leon Ardell. Nice to meet you all. I was working for Mr. What's his name again? Mikage Suguro. He wanted me to go and do some research. Or he was helping me with some research, but it kind of turned into his research. But,
Interesting.
We
Hmm,
work for him too.
I suppose we do.
Indeed. Did you have a white book?
I don't think it was white. It was
This was
wooden.
white with gold inlay.
No, that was not mine. It was got wooden. It has intricate carvings of more or less different animals on it. It's
Hmm.
got a nice little locket on it. Keeping it shut, I can't seem to open it.
This must be the agent he was speaking of.
hmm
Oh, pleasure to meet you, sir. Seems we're in this
Leon,
together.
just so that you know, they are speaking about your book. It was white wood with the intricate carvings and the gold inlay going.
I did not understand
Yes.
that.
It's quite alright.
Yes.
Woo.
Right, so we seem to all be in this party for similar reasons. So,
We should probably have more thorough introductions later. We were in pursuit of someone.
yes.
Yes. And at this point, seeing as that plate did not open the door to the cell, because we were able to simply jam it open, we might have to test that pressure plate.
Tell me, have you seen
Perhaps
a
with the stone.
Have you seen a mechanical-looking person come through?
I haven't seen much of anything. I've heard stomps of footsteps, the occasional weird cackle, but outside of that,
About how long
been
have you?
How long have
Yeah.
you been here?
We'll all just ask that. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not quite sure. Maybe a day.
Okay. not
Leon,
terribly
it might
long.
be pertinent to tell them how you got here.
How did you get here?
I was knocked unconscious. I was trying to escape some fellow that locked me in with him in the study at the library. He knocked me out, and next thing I knew, I was tied up and placed here.
This
Which
fellow, did
library?
he have a
Uh,
very gravelly voice? Did he make a lot of clicking sounds?
I'm not quite sure. It was such a blur.
Do you know which library you were in?
Uh,
Library of which town?
The library in. Let's see here. This would be Timbervale's. Yeah, it was just me.
Timbervale, maybe?
Yes, Timbervale. That's what I said.
Oh, the
Oh.
town full of racist fucks that we never want to see again.
Language.
She's not wrong.
I am a grown woman. I will speak as I please. They threw us all in jail for no reason.
You must have been the fellows that the Mikage went to go and speak with.
Yes.
Yes.
Fair enough. So,
So
it seems we are limited on options. How do we move forward?
All right, so let's get the stone. As McNick said, let's put that on the pressure plate. And you tell us more about what the heck you were doing in Timbervale. And you didn't manage to get locked up.
Well, first off, I ran into a guard. He asked me what I was doing there. Told him I was doing some research on magical ingredients. I tend to go and do that, and was hoping that would go and be a solid excuse, since not everywhere is very kind, and I do still do that research.
You should not have mentioned magic to those gods.
No.
Well,
Indeed.
He asked for a bribe. I paid him off 2 silver and entered. Saw some weird long setup of a man in a cloak. He had long fingers. It was
The tax collector.
yes. He was
That tax collector seems to brew trouble everywhere he goes.
yeah.
I'm sorry,
He-
I gotta break character. It's just the DM is trying so hard to guide you to something.
Hey, Nab, if it would help to get your point across without the voice, go right ahead, brother.
No, this is me just trying to go and play.
I'm trying to remember.
Okay. Did you
No.
not write anything down?
All right. While we have this minor break in flow here, I want to, no matter how many perception checks it takes, check for as safe of an area as is possible for us to stand prior to the rock being placed on the pressure plate.
You don't have many choices given the small tunnel that is the one that you took toward the left past the plate, and the safest room, I guess that you would say, would be the one that you are currently in with Sir Leon.
Kai,
Yes.
is your rope long enough to reach the stone from where we are without
Uh,
pulling it?
Believe so. It's about 50 yards, I think. I mean, meters. Let me double check.
It usually measures in meters.
Measuring the rope, 50 feet.
I feel like it would be prudent to not be near the pressure plate, given it did not do anything with the door.
It could set off a trap.
Bingo.
Did any of you test the pressure plate?
No.
Then you have no idea what it does.
That's right.
All we know is that the person we were pursuing avoided it.
I go and inspect the pressure plate a little bit further to see if there are any more of those infamous indentations on said plate.
There are, but they're different than the ones that you saw previously. It's a
Anyway.
completely different symbol with the same shoddy etching marks around it.
I was meaning, were there any more talon marks in it?
Oh, any talon marks on the pressure plate or around it?
On it.
On it, no.
Seems like he didn't have to use the plate.
So where did he go?
There's no other direction to go then. Is
Did he
there?
double back? Can we tell if he doubled back?
Did he
You just see talon marks along all the sides of the wall until it gets to the room that you all are in. You can see talon marks along the ground of where you are, and also in the room.
am going to search the room more thoroughly. We haven't really done that yet.
No, we have not. There might just be a
Roll
door
research.
that we haven't seen.
That was a 17 before I zoomed in, and then it fell over.
I will help with the search while continuing to explain more or less that the tax collector, or as you called him, tax collector, Dormox took me to his master in the castle. There was 3
Dormox?
paintings. Yes, Dormox. That's the name of, I assume, the tax collector you're talking about.
More
A
like soul
long-fingered
collector.
wizard. Yeah. I attempted to go and help a person. He was collecting from, I guess you could say. It didn't work out. He asked of my presence and all that. I explained that I was doing research. Also explained about the book that I would also be researching here, with the white wood and gold markings on it. Next thing I know, I'm taking to Mikage Sugaro's castle in the sky.
Did you enjoy your flight?
It was, to be fair, quite short. I was awake for hardly a second, it felt like, before we were there.
Interesting.
So after a couple of general attempts at trying to see where the footprints lead, I inspect the other end of the corridor much more closely. That's a 20 on die.
I had
The
a
other
17
corridor,
on
as in the room that you were
investigation.
in, or the other side of the corridor where the pressure plate is?
The other side where the pressure plate is. Am I able to discern where that pressure plate might activate something?
Yeah, I was the one searching the room where we found Leon.
And I was helping, looking for my stuff as well. A 17 on investigation.
You all can tell that the same talon marks are in the room that you are in, and they go over to where Leon's character was placed. And then they seem to lead out the room over to where the door is, and then it just seems like there are these talon marks across the wall over to the pressure plate area.
That might have been how he got back out of here. He went back out the way he came in.
Or the pressure plate is a way out.
I have
I
an idea.
mean-
Do we want to press it without being in that spot? I have a long stick.
You were
Is it
going to
long
poke
enough?
the pressure plate.
And you think of any other way to progress here?
Yes, pull the rope until the rock lands on the pressure plate.
Fair point. Well, let's do that. Any better ideas?
Nope.
All right, so we will use the rope and the rock again and put it on the, well,
I got a 20.
try to pull it onto the plate while we are at a distance of approximately 40 feet, because you got to tie
Okay.
it around it.
And where exactly are you all? Are you toward the door right now, or are you on the other side of the hallway near where you found Leon? Where are you in proximity to?
I imagine we're hanging out in that room.
Okay. Okay.
Farthest from our pursuers makes the most sense to me.
And you are getting the rock over how again?
Pulling the rope until the rock lands on the pressure plate.
As you're doing so, and the rock hits this pressure plate, you see the pressure plate kind of, and then you hear continually.
The sound of arrows.
I cautiously move forward to investigate what's happening.
As you start to get closer to where the pressure plate is, you go like this toward the edge of the hallway, and a blade goes right past your face. A large halberd looking on a swinging, like a pendulum. Yeah, a pendulum.
It was a
And
trap.
there are tons of them throughout the hallway, but you see that the door is currently open. The one that you came through.
Is there any space between the button and the door?
The only
where
space that
perhaps
you
the
can
things
see,
are not swinging?
where the pendulum is coming and swinging, there is but a small space that the pendulum would not hit you.
Not nearly small enough to army crawl.
It seems like you might be able to crawl through it if you tried.
Well, I could definitely do it.
Risk that. Halfling might. Unless anyone has any other ideas. I'm kind of at a loss. We can try to figure out a way to stop the pendulum from swinging before triggering the button. That's all
Is
I've
it just the one?
No, there are multiple pendulums through.
So are the
He said
pendulums
hallway.
are the pendulums swinging like this across the
across the entirety of the hallway from the ceiling, going like.
and forgive me
This.
if this is what Kai asked, but the pendulum closest to the door, is there room to stand between it and the door?
Yes.
That's what I was going for.
And you
He
notice
answered a
that
different question,
the
but that's what I
hallway
was
that
meaning.
you all took, where the door is, where the room that you are in, you notice that there are no pendulums swinging towards you right now. This entire part of the hallway is clear.
Right.
Until you get to where the pressure plate is, and then going off toward the right, all the pendulums are
So
swinging.
we could all fit between the pendulum closest to the door and the door.
Yes.
Remove the rock from the pressure plate.
And then we'll rotate the rope. And then as we get to the door, we'll press up against the door and then yank on it, just that narrowest little margin to get it on the plate.
This
And then
will
it doesn't matter.
This will cut your rope.
Well,
If it means getting out of this place.
No, don't worry, I'll buy you a rope when we get out.
I'm far from worried about the rope, friend. All right, let's
Very
try
well.
it.
All right. So you all are taking the rock off of the pressure plate.
Yep.
Mhm.
The rock is off the pressure plate, and the pendulum stopped moving.
Excellent.
Okay, now it.
Studiously, I carefully
million-dollar
step
question.
around the pressure plate and put myself against the door.
The
Okay.
Not
million-dollar
leaning on
question
the door,
is
but-
there room for all of us there?
I verified that.
If you all smush together real in, you could maybe make this happen.
Okay.
I volunteer standing on Kai's shoulders.
I volunteer. That's brilliant. Put the halfling on my shoulders. That's brilliant. We put the halfling on my shoulders. That's one less body width we need to worry about.
Yep.
Okay. So how do
Okay.
you want to do this?
I carefully step around the pressure plate and get
Mhm.
next to the door.
I follow.
And
I follow up and I make sure our new passenger complies.
Leon, you coming?
Oh, yes, of course. I was
I
following.
suppose he'll be on the left-hand side. I'm in the middle. I've got a halfling on my shoulders and a tiefling on my right, and I pull in the stone carefully.
The stone hits the pressure plate. It goes down. The pendulums start coming. And who's closest to the hallway right now?
I thought we were about even, but probably me because of how I'm pulling the rope.
You see the pendulum go.
Did the door open?
Right.
All right.
Off we go.
And everybody gets
We need to go.
back
before
out the
it's-
door.
I'm standing perfectly still and saying, "Is it safe behind me?"
Is it safe? Is there anything else in the room now?
Turn around.
I mean,
Okay.
of course.
You all turn around and you notice that there are tons of claw marks and footprints that have lined the walls and the floor, and there's this black sludgy kind of nature to them.
Is it like
Goblins.
the pitch from before?
It would appear so.
Oh man, more of these little. I observe the door to the far right. Are there more footprints going through there, or did they all go back through the left?
There are footprints going in both directions, to the left and to the right.
Well, are there fewer to the right than to the left?
Yes.
I think a better question is which one's fresher.
Okay. I would think the left. They all came from the left. If they all went back that way, then we're going to the right.
But if some went to the right, maybe
Then
some came from the right as well, and maybe they've set up for a pincer attack.
well, we're kind of going to be screwed if we stay right here.
Okay,
Clear.
I'm a little confused where we are right now. We came in, there was 3 branches. We went down the middle one, and then we
Yes.
found Leon off to the side here, and I thought we went down another path, like leading
you
off
went
to the side,
you went
not
back
going
to the same one that you went toward, because the
Okay, I
only
thought
thing
there
that
was
was
another
down
way.
that pathway was where Leon was being kept.
Okay,
We
I
That was a
understood the
spell.
situation.
we are here.
So we're back where we started. Got
Mhm.
it. Okay.
That's why I was asking, did all of the footprints stay to the left with the exception of the 2 sets that had been to the right previously? All right, well, I know which way we're going this time. We're going to the right.
Very well. I
If all
haul the
of-
rock back over.
Can you? Or is the rope broken?
The rope has been cut, and the rock is left in the hallway as you see the doors go.
Well,
Kai, you hold in your hand a rope that is about this big.
that's still enough to make makeshift handcuffs. It's not bad.
It is but a noodle.
How did the door close with the rock on the button?
It
It
moved.
was timed.
The rock is in the hallway. When you yanked on it, it got cut,
Oh, right.
and rock is now no longer on pressure plate, so it's been locked in there.
Fair enough. Well, pocket
Fare thee
the-
well, Tobias the Rock. You were useful.
You served us well. I guess we're going to the right. Not feeling great about that, to be honest, but alright. I'm going to, I don't know if this is going to take more perception checks while we're going, but I want to keep vigil behind us.
It will take more perception, more attention on your.
I will roll as requested.
Okay.
I have relabeled the rope as 2 feet long in my inventory. I mean, it's
So
enough
this
to work
pressure
with, right?
plate works the same way as the other, right?
Check and see.
All
Kai,
right.
Yes.
when we go through there, I want to hold one end of your rope because I'm going to walk backwards.
I'm not sure what you're getting at, but sure.
I don't want to
I
lose you
stand on the
guys, and my eyes and ears will be on
stand
where
on
we're
the
coming
plate?
from.
Mm-hmm.
As you stand on the plate, you see this purple energy start glowing on it. And you feel a slight burning sensation on your foot. And in your mind, you hear some kind of voice calling to you. And the door does open.
I continue listening. What do I recognize the language, or is it speaking common?
It is speaking common.
What's it saying?
Can we hear it?
No, you all cannot. Come. Hello.
This doesn't sound good.
What
What
do
are
you hear?
What's happening?
Sinister voice wants us to come closer.
I mean,
I have treats abundant for you.
I get off the plate because that's starting to grate. Bribery.
You notice that the door is still open. And
Shit.
the pressure plate is still glowing. And now you all start to hear the voice.
Come closer.
Perhaps not this door. I'm going to go and step on the left pressure plate.
We'll see what that does.
As you step on the left pressure plate, you all... The door does not open. But you hear...
You've taken something from me. Come to me.
Great. Well, let's go see what this stranger wants.
Leon, new friend, do
Yeah.
you recognize the voice?
yes, I recognize him. He
No,
sounds-
you do not.
No, this is just an out of character thing. Okay.
If you're dressed as Leon, then it's in character conversation.
I assumed since it sounded out of character again once more. I assumed since it was the same voice you were using that it was, in fact.
Not
Okay.
the same voice I was using.
Well,
You'll see the same
go
voice that I
towards-
was using when you come back to that.
Okay.
If you come back to
By
that.
the way. No,
I go
don't-
over to the door and I kind of motion for everyone to follow. Come on.
Alright. let's go
Yes.
meet our new host. Hope he is friendly.
Mm,
Well,
As you
friendlier
all
than he
go in
sounds.
through the door slams behind you, and the torches that are along the sides of this room begin. A brighter flame comes from these dimly lit torches that you've been seeing, and you are in a room that is this one.
This one. This one. Oh,
this one.
time to switch cams.
Yeah.
So I
Wait,
rolled
this
dice in case it
room.
was an initiative.
I think we'll get to
As
that when we get
as
to
you
that.
see the flames, you all still hear the voice.
Now, my dearies, I give you a test. In order to see me, you must complete what I have given you and find a way to me.
Well, at least he sounds chipper.
Sounds like fun. What do
We
I
might
see?
have to discuss the definition of the word chipper when we get out of here.
Yeah.
12 perception to see what I can see.
You see that there are vines that are all along the floorboards. And there appear to be some kind of skeletal remains that are in some of the corners and strewn throughout these vines that are laying on the floor.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And now you all are bleep, bloop, blop, and blork.
Bleep, bloop, blop, blork. Bleep, bloop, blop, and blork. Sorry, that's just fun.
What
So there are vines on the
use them?
floors, guys. We should probably avoid them unless someone wants to sacrifice something else from their inventory to see what happens when it touches the vine.
I walk up to the vine and poke it with a stick. Actually, no.
Okay.
No, I'm not going to do that. I only have one stick, and it's an important one. I will drop a dart on it. Just to see what it
Drop
does.
a dart on it.
And it doesn't react in any way?
Nope.
Okay, I retrieve the dart.
You retrieve the dart.
Yep.
Do you go and pick it up from the vines?
Yes.
Okay. Roll a d20 for me.
Of course. It reacts to organic things.
Oh no!
13.
Okay. So, Toll, as you go over to the vines, the vines sense that a living creature has touched them, they creep around your hand very quickly. And they go straight up to your shoulder.
This is
and
a
they
problem.
start to pull you in.
Someone have a
And
knife?
you notice that they are
I
just
take my long
continually.
sword. I take my long sword to cut them.
This is a problem. Help! I
Please
resist,
something
of
I can-
course.
Okay, so I hit vines, just not the correct ones. That was a total of like a 5.
Okay.
Well,
I don't have fire spells at this level.
You-
That's
You
have
go and you try
Yeah.
to hit the vines with your sword, and as you're swinging your sword, you're chopping into these vines, narrowly missing Kai's arm, and he's like, "Hey, what are you
Careful!
doing?" And you notice that the vines start screeching in pain. Everybody, please roll for initiative.
It's a beautiful
14.
transition there.
Oh,
16.
that's I
That is-
think
that's a 10.
9. That's either a 9 or a 10.
7.
I've got a 13 total for initiative.
All this
Okay.
time I've had a torch, guys. I could have...
So
That's
Matt,
a 10.
Moxie, you have a 10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I
Mick.
got a 7.
13.
16.
Okay. So Kai, you got a 16. Mick, you got a 13, right?
Yep.
Okay. Leon, you got what?
A 7.
Oh, that sucks. Okay. Here we go.
It's usually not a good sign, but okay.
All right.
I mean,
Moxie,
going last in
you
battle
got
order
a
isn't
10.
bad.
And then Leon. From in the corner behind these vines, in the shadows, 2 torches start flaring. And these vines, you see more of them start coming out of the ground, and they start forming around each other and creeping up on top of one another, and they start grabbing some of the skeletal remains that are around them, and they start bringing them into their body. You start to see a skeletal formation of all of these vertebrae that start clicking together in place, where you see smaller vines grasping them and interweaving like veins almost. And a large misshapen vine-like creature, you see skulls embedded in these vines, and they start a large shambling creature now stands in front of you, and it is starting to come closer to each of you. What do you do?
Well, that depends on who's first.
Kai, you are first.
All right.
But
Am I
also,
still-
Kai, you have a -5 on your rolls right now because your arm is still stuck in the vines
That's
that are
ex-
you're currently in.
That's exactly what I was about to check. So, as a free action, I say, "Does anyone have a torch?" And then I try and break free.
You try and break free.
Like, is that an option, or should I attack it? What do you?
You are considered grappled at the moment.
grappled.
So
I
you would have to break
grappling
grapple.
pin. I could try it. Yeah, break grapple. So I roll, and that's what, a strength check?
Yes.
19.
You feel that same kind of energy starting to flow through you again, not even noticing it. And the vines rip off and they start to tear, and this black reddish blood starts to pour out of the vines themselves as they slither back over to this shambling creature as it kind of shakes it off, and all of the vines that are wrapped around your arms slump onto the ground in a heap.
Okay.
Impressive.
Am I able to do... Would I be able to take out my torch as a free action? And
Ready
You
for
have
the
a
next
torch, and do you
round.
have a way to light it?
I have a tinderbox and a torch. That I
That will
completely
take
forgot
up-
about until this moment.
Well, since you took your action here, that was your free action, right?
Well,
Or
I
was
was
that
expecting
your
breaking
actual
grapple
turn
would be the turn.
That is the turn. So now, in order for you to light this torch, you'll have to take your next turn to light the torch.
Well, I'm at least getting it out.
Okay.
Or at
Next
least
up.
starting to get it out, however I'm allowed to
The
do that.
vines that are on the ground start to reach over for Moxie. The vines start to come over to you, and they start wrapping around your feet. You try to get them off, and you start slashing at them with your sword, and they start slinking back. They did not succeed.
Well, that's nice.
Yay! No damage so far.
Whose turn now?
The next individual is Miknik.
Nick!
I have crossbow in hand. I'm going to fire into the center of the tentacles slime thing.
Okay.
Mines.
Yeah. Acting very tentacle-like. Roll to hit. Wow. That's fan-fucking-tastic. That's a 5 total.
You aim down the sights of your crossbow and you let loose a bolt. And as it goes toward this creature, it slaps it out of the way, and it goes into one of the torches that are on the wall. Next up, it's the creature's turn. As it moves forward, it takes one of its long tendrils and slowly tries to slam onto who's closest. Tall, and it looks like Leon. All right, 17 to hit.
Oh, that hits Leon.
Miknik. I mean, not Miknik, but Kai. Does that hit you?
AC 15.
Yes, that does hit you. Okay, the both of you take 2 damage. You feel this weighty heft of vegetation and decay pin you down to the ground as your bones start to feel like they're almost being crushed, and it lifts it back up and brings it back over to itself.
Ow.
Next up, Moxie.
Oh, I do have first level spells. Oh, thank God. I am not as powerless as I think I am. That is wonderful news. Because I actually have something that might help. Finally. I'm trying to figure out whether or not it's actually safe for me to cast Thunder Wave. That might not be a safe thing to do.
Thunderwave, in what direction does it go? Does it go 360 or how?
15-foot
It is
cone.
a 15-foot cube, actually.
Well,
Must be
you
looking at the
would
wrong thing
hit your fellow compatriots.
And that's 2d8
Two
of
of-
thunder damage.
2 of them are currently on the ground because they just got smacked.
Pinned.
They just got pinned. to the
I will
ground.
find a different spell to use. Give me a moment. I'm sure I have something else I can use. I don't have a whole lot of things I can use. That sucks. This is not good. Oh god. This is a problem. In a moment of panic, I cast Hideous Laughter on the creature.
Okay.
It has higher than a level 4 intelligence, right?
Actually, it just roll for it.
Roll? Joy.
Yeah, roll.
Joy of joys. Oh, please be
I
kind.
don't think you're able to know whether or not it has that high of intelligence. It's just a matter of casting it and seeing what happens.
Correct.
That's a total of... I'm guessing I add my casting stat. That's a 12.
It does affect the creature.
Alright,
As
so
you-
that means...
So roll for damage, or what does it do exactly?
It's not a damage.
Okay.
A creature of your choice that you can see within range perceives everything as hilariously funny and falls into fits of laughter if this spell affects it. Must succeed a wisdom saving throw or fall prone, becoming incapacitated and unable to stand up for the duration.
So this shambling creature, you hear you hear this almost kind of these laughs that are going around the room, and they start zeroing in past you all in this cone shape that starts going toward this creature. And as it's doing that, this creature starts to it has no language that you can perceive, but you just see it starting to grasp
Chuckle.
its chest and chuckling almost.
Can
And
we
it is
then get
no
past
longer
it?
fixated upon you all at this current point in time.
Yeah, duration can be up to a minute.
Okay? Then what do you all do?
Shall we make a run for it?
Run for where?
Past it? Find a door?
I'm still feeling like I should light that torch.
Right?
You sound distant.
Yeah, I moved my mic so you can hear me typing.
Hmm.
I didn't want the clicks to be on stream.
Makes sense.
Yes.
Well, let's
Anyways.
move past this thing so we're not pressed against the door.
Yes, that would be.
Is there an area of the room where the vines are not?
Yes.
Alright, run where there's no vines. Move!
You're going to have to go over the vines to get to. So you're going to have to go from here over and past the creature.
Now, what about that area to the right of the screen?
Over here?
Yeah.
It's just a room filled with more bones. It's just an area that has more bones there.
Mm.
Probably doesn't
Well,
want
it
to
seems
see
like
that
there
thing.
is space to get past it, but we don't have much time, guys. Figure out what the fuck you're doing and move. Otherwise, we will die
Yeah.
here.
Okay.
Kai, do you want to throw me over the monster?
I will throw him into the safe spot.
Heave the halfling!
Heave!
Roll a
You're going to have to
d20.
throw me.
Improvise halfling missile away!
Boom.
Ah,
A
D20
nat
is nat.
twin. Okay.
You crashed through the door.
Kai.
Hey!
Kai.
I hope I'm inspired to just hurl him like a missile at the thing and it rips a hole in him.
Kai, in a fit of nervous energy, grabs Miknik with both hands and holds them in the air almost like a football.
And
He holds out his arms thusly, and he lays a spiral hooking like he threw a football. Nick is spiraling in the air, and the creature, as it's laughing, its tentacles are moving, and almost in slow motion to you, Nick, you go through these tentacles as you start hearing, and you hit the wall. And as you hit the wall, you hit it with such gusto that you take 3 damage, and your shoulder pops out of socket, and you get up. Okay.
Oh boy, that was a blast.
Who's next?
I don't know about being tossed.
All right.
Painful.
Well, how big is the patch of vines anyway?
The vines that are on the floor,
Yeah, the living
they
vine.
span the entire length of the area, so it's probably a good 15 feet in diameter.
Okay, well, good thing I've got acrobatics with a pretty high bonus. I'm going to try and make it across the room without touching the vines, as dexterously as possible. Whee! 18 plus 4, 22!
You leap off of your staff. You take your staff and almost
Pole
like
vault.
Wukong, you flip
Pole
over the
vaulting.
vines and tuck in your bow staff. And as you do, some of the tendrils are starting to fling around you in midair. You bat them out of the way, and it slams back down onto the creature as it starts laughing in the corner. And it is moved more.
I love how you're making me a badass on my good roll. I should change
Next
that
up.
color so it doesn't get blurred out like that.
I can cast a bit of fire, but I don't know if how your magic works. Moxie. Would it disturb
I'm a
the...
bard. I'm a bard, and I suggest you get moving. It's
While
still
we're waiting for
distracting.
them, I'm lighting my torch.
In that case, he will attempt to mimic, in his best way as possible, our friend Kai.
Okay, so you're doing what now?
He's going to try and jump over the vines.
You're going to acrobatics your way
Okey-dokey.
through, hopefully.
Make an acrobatics check for me.
Yep, he is getting a bit of a hit. Walking back up to the wall behind him and running full force, hoping to jump over it. So that's a +2. 9.
Running at full sprint, you put your hands on the wall and you say to yourself, just remember, like in school, like they taught you, and you start to run with full force and tripping over yourself occasionally and starting to wheeze almost like an asthmatic. You trip and fall into the vines themselves.
Hey, guy.
And now you are entwined into the vines, but they do not appear to be wrapping around you.
Lighting my torch.
There also is torches on the wall over there.
Hmm?
That's what I've been waiting for.
You
It's like-
haven't needed to ask if there's a torch. There's a bunch of them.
Yes, but these one have flared earlier. I assumed that's why you were jumping over there. Because it's just as trapped
So-
over there.
So
We
are
have
you
no idea if
reminding me
there's a
that
door.
in character while I'm lighting my
Yes.
torch?
Yes, I see. Don't forget there's torches on the wall.
Ah.
In a heap.
Well, if mine isn't lit yet, then I'm like, oh. And if it is lit, I
Kai,
feel like,
you
oh.
being over on the other side, you look at the wall. Note, you're kind of tuckered out with that epic dodge roll that you did off of your Wukong staff, and you look at the wall, and you're holding one torch in one hand and a tinderbox in the other, and you look down, and you look at the wall, and there's a bright flaming torch that is right there, and you look down,
Ah!
you look back,
Stow it. Go grab the torch.
you grab the torch off of the wall. You now have a torch.
I have a torch. Now I can use it for what I was meaning to do, which was attack the thing when we get to that point again.
I mean,
Okay,
attack it.
Moxie, you are the
Yes.
only one that has not made it across the room yet. And I would hurry if I were you.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is. I don't have acrobatics, so it's just going to be a mad sprint at a 14.
Uh-oh.
At a 14, mad sprint. You
Just
get across.
full-
You get back to the wall, and with full force, every step that you're taking, you feel almost this musical sonata that is in your head, and the floor and the vines start appearing almost like music notes to you as you hop across each piece of stone and rock. You leap over and onto the other side.
Well done. You couldn't grab Leon?
I then shout,
What
"Your
is
life
Leon?
depends on it, my friend. Move!"
Yep, he'd
Bardic
be getting up at that
inspiration.
point.
I use Bardic
Attempting.
Inspiration. You now have a d6 extra for your next roll.
Leon, roll to release yourself for me.
5
Roll a
plus.
d6. Roll a d6.
Bardic Inspiration.
May save your bacon.
And it was a 3, so that was 8.
8 total.
I tried.
Leon tries to get up and he feels this musical energy surrounding him coming from Moxie as she grabs out a little fiddle and starts with all of her might, just trying to give him some form of inspiration to get off the ground and save himself. And now Leon looks over toward the wall and he sees all of these skeletal remains and this shambling creature start going, "Huh, huh." And it slams down one of its tendrils directly onto Leon, pinning him further onto the ground.
Goodness.
Oh my god.
Oh no. Did we just kill Leon?
It's not good when the DM says that.
Oh no.
You take 6 damage.
Oof.
I'm now making death
Bludgeoning
saves.
damage.
I'm now making death saves.
Your
Oh no.
chest caves in with the force of this creature's heft as this vegetation and rock slams into you. A piece of bone sticking out of it stabs you directly into the chest, and it starts picking you up off the ground, lifting you into the air.
Well,
What do you do?
I don't think he
I'm a
can
bit
do
embarrassed.
Next
anything.
up on the
at the
turn
moment.
list would be Kai.
Well, as a free action at the beginning of the turn, I'm going to grab a second torch and use 2-weapon fighting. Wahahaha. I have that skill.
Okay, so you have 2 torches in your hand, right?
Yep, and I'm going to try and set this sucker on fire.
All right, roll for me.
Rolling. Boop.
Would you like some oil for that?
Ah, so there's 1. That's an 8 plus 5 to hit, so 13.
It hits.
And 2, nat 20.
So as you hit these 2 torches onto this creature, as it's holding Leon up, and these skulls that are embedded all looking up toward him, it starts to go to try to slam him further down into the ground, and flames start running up the creature. As it rears back in pain, it tosses Leon aside over in between you all, falling to the ground, his chest caved in, bleeding heavily from one spot that is on the midsection of his torso.
Nick.
Yes,
Medic.
already. Yep. I am
The
ready
creature
to roll.
then turns back around and starts looking at you as it's wailing in pain, and you see all of the vines that are on the ground and on this creature all start writhing in pain as they all start to kind of recede down into the cracks of the ground. A smoldering pile of vegetation and bones remain. And there is something that is inside of this pile.
I
Something
move to
shiny.
heal Leon.
And I will go investigate the pile.
So,
I will
Mitnick, you're
guard
going
Mitnick.
to heal Leon. Okay, roll for it.
1d8, that's 5 plus 4. He heals 9.
Leon, lying there, unconscious, with his chest caved in. You can even see from where this root-like appendage, about this big, slammed onto his chest. You see it dented, his skin torn asunder with what was some kind of ribcage bone that went deep into his skin. His bones start to crack back, and almost like an inflated balloon, his chest, with one breath, you hear all of the bones snap back into place as you see the hole that was once there starts to pinch itself tight, and it is completely healed now.
Leon, are
Leon
you
comes
with us?
to with a
Good, he's still alive. What have you found in the pile of rubbish?
Still looking.
you pull out a large key.
Oh,
Interesting.
joy! Let's hope that leads somewhere.
Oh, thank you, McNick.
Absolutely. Let's try to avoid having it happen again, though.
Yes.
I
On
shall
the off
remember.
chance we encounter one of these creatures again, I noticed when it tore off of me, its blood was black and tarry like what the goblins were slinging. So I had the idea to light it on fire.
Good call.
And it burns.
So let's remember that, in case we find another one.
Now what do you all do?
Head down.
The room
I-
has grown silent. All of the vines and vegetation are all but a blackened mush on the ground.
I look around for, I guess, the
A keyhole.
faceless voice of our
Benefactor?
taskmaster.
The labyrinth guardian.
And what do you say?
I am the gatekeeper.
No,
At
I
least
don't
it's
say
not-
that.
Well, how was that?
Have we solved your puzzle?
You have almost solved it, dearie.
Find where that
You
key
need
goes.
only now take the key in your possession.
And you see right behind you, the stone that is on the cavern wall begins to open, and a keyhole moves forward.
Well,
Well,
Turn the key.
one need
I'm
to turn this
worried.
over.
Hold up. What's going to happen when someone touches the key into the lock?
we don't exactly have any other options. to
We
get
do
out of
not
here.
have any other options. We cannot go backward. We can only go forward.
Pick up a tentacle?
Leon?
It's not there. It's blackened mush.
I
Leon,
can-
are you good to continue?
Yes. McNick patched me up pretty well. I
All right,
can-
so
I know it's a bit of a harrowing experience. He healed me the other day. Still, well, earlier today. Have I already lost track of time? Well,
You can see why I mistook the time down here.
anyway, to the door.
Yes.
I brazenly walk up to it and turn the key in the lock.
Putting in the key into this lock hole, you can tell that this keyhole has not been utilized very much. With a strong twist of the key, rust flings out of the keyhole, and this doorway of stone starts to open, and another lit path is in front of you, with the torches dimly glowing along the way.
Ahead we go.
Does anyone want this second torch to carry?
Hey, Darla,
Sure, hand it here.
There you go.
They're fine.
can you get that, please? Can you bring that?
Oh, you can grab one too. There's plenty on the walls.
Yes.
Feel so silly for not realizing that before.
Time for a terrain change.
Meanwhile, in the corridor as we're walking, and the DM is
Meanwhile,
doing that.
in the Hall of Dungeons.
You all can speak amongst yourselves right now if you
Yes,
wish.
that's what I was trying to say. So, do you guys do this often?
First time, actually.
I don't know. I don't know what you would constitute as this. Do I go dungeon running frequently? No. Have I spent many, many times in places disgusting like this? Yes.
Hmm.
I've spent many a day in places as gross as this. It is not
Ah.
uncommon.
Yeah. So I should expect to find myself in more scenarios like this.
I mean, let's
don't
hope
know.
not, but, you know. Can't be too careful when you are running errands for a very powerful vampire lord.
I should ask. Leon, do you know anything of a man named Danon?
No, I have no idea who this Danon person might be.
That's who we've been sent to find, because he is a key in a further thing we've been sent to do.
Courtesy of
see.
your research partner.
I see.
How about the stone
Of Eglass.
Eglis? Eglis?
Eglass.
However you say it. Does that string a bell? String a bell. Strike a bell. Ring a bell.
Ding dong.
I'm
Are you
going
drunk
dead.
again?
You got there, Kai. You got there.
I miss.
String a bell, ding a dong, dong a bell, bing a bell.
Have you ever just crossed a wire in your mind? It happens.
It does indeed.
That seems familiar. I probably is, but I'm going to roll intelligence to see if it's history, if nothing else. Because I think that would be one to use
I
here.
think it's more arcana than anything else, but
While you're racking your memory, we came here in
13.
pursuit of Danon, trying to find him and his child who disappeared. And we discovered this man, machine, whatever he is, and followed him to this cave,
I see.
rather hoping you'd encountered at least one of them.
You seem to forget I was a bit tied up and walked in that room.
Nab, over the table, you are forgetting a very key bit of information as to why you are where you are. Or matter of whom brought you to where you are.
I don't know. Honestly, you didn't
Right,
say.
but you had a description that I gave you that would be pertinent to utilize.
Yeah, the other day they were asking about artifacts. I had to go back through our direct message histories to find that bracelet. I was like, I know there's something.
It was during our conversation that we had earlier.
Do you want to remind him again in a direct
Yeah.
message?
because
Yes, I will
assumed
remind
it was
him
going to
in
be
a
a quick knockout, so he wouldn't
direct
remember,
message.
and it wouldn't be.
No,
of
you did
importance.
get a look at him, like I told you.
Sorry about that.
Whee!
reminds me of Ed, Ed, and Eddie when they cut to some strange, stupid thing they've done.
Well, I can go and make sure to run into a pile of vines.
You still tripped rather hilariously to a pile of vines. There is a minor difference.
Right. Yes, there was a man in a long trench coat, had a pointed brimmed cowboy looking hat.
That sounds
That's
like a
the
man
same
with pursuit.
one.
He's the
That's
one
the
that
man.
attacked me.
That doesn't surprise me.
Indeed.
I think the only reason he didn't murder us all when we found him was because I said, look, we're not trying to get in your way. We want something different. When we're done with him, you can have him. Because his life means nothing to me.
And I've learned to accept the consequences of such things.
Considering that, you know, he was party to stealing a very powerful artifact, he has something coming.
I don't have to like it.
Where is McNick?
I'm still here. I just needed to pop my knees.
Okie dokie.
Present but off screen.
Old man knees.
I feel you there, buddy. I feel you there. So, as you all are walking down this hallway, you begin to hear almost very similar to what you came across the noises at the cabin. And
More of
going
these
down this
things.
hallway, you see a shadowy figure that is against the wall before it comes around to a corner.
Shadowy figure against the wall.
Yes.
Okay. And here we are, all holding torches, like idiots. It'll
Well,
definitely.
you're not close enough to this individual.
peek
yet to
around the
discern
corner.
anything.
I had a 19 total perception. What all do I see in the room?
In the room, you see small goblinoid creatures that are jovially going around causing a ruckus, breaking things, drinking, eating pickles, all kinds of the like.
Goblins and
they're-
pickles.
they're-
I
they're
never
going-
made.
They're going down into buckets that they have, buckets upon buckets of pickles, and getting them out and eating them just straight out of this bucket. You see pigs that are on the ground, little piglet babies that are going around, and you see some of them running after them and grabbing the little piglet babies and looking them as they get out their knives and start to slit their throats.
Oh god, this is a charnel house. Oh boy. Oh, this is gonna be
A
fun
what?
to explain. This is a bloodbath filled with literal blood and pickle juice. This
do
is
like
not
that
gonna be fun. What else is in the room aside from the little goblinoids?
You can see some kind of, just peeking out of the corner, you can make out some kind of altar looking thing and a large throne that is behind this altar with a very big individual sitting on it, very fat in its nature.
So think Buddha, but not nearly as kind or as wise or as patient.
I'm
Think
thinking the Goblin King from the
female.
Hobbit movies.
Female, really overly sized Buddha. It has large breasts that come down that goblins are suckling at the teat.
That's not pleasant. There was a name mentioned by the goblin that I beheaded. Robitha. I'm taking it that's her.
What a hedonistic display.
He said,
Fire
"Long
time?
live Grobitha."
Is it fire time?
That
I feel like
depends.
I feel like
Huh?
it'd be good to rid the world of these vermin.
I don't know that we can do anything about the queen.
The shadowy figure that is against the wall, you start to hear a
So great performance, but I think Discord did noise canceling. I only heard the first like half second of it.
We don't hear it.
Someone is struggling to breathe. That's what I'm getting from your expressions.
Getting the
Yeah.
wheeze grasp.
I edge closer toward the source of that sound to see what is there.
There's a man in tattered clothing. You could tell that a lot of it was handmade. has a belt wrapped around his waist made of some kind of leather that he fashioned. It looks to be maybe himself. And he's got a small beard that goes around, tattered hair, and his head is just slumped over onto his chest. And you see that there are two nail-like metal pieces that are stabbing into him, and it seems as if his gut has been opened.
He's still alive. Mick, get over here.
Yes.
Okay. Are you wanting me to heal him?
If you can. I'd rather nobody die, if possible. What is your name, sir? Can you hear me?
What?
Your name. What is your name?
Where is she?
Are you Danon? Do you seek your daughter?
Curing wounds.
Mick, hurry.
That's a 2 + 4.
You
6.
try your best as you feel the holy energy coursing through your veins into your hands as you are starting to lay hands onto this individual, and you feel all of your prayers going into this heal. And as your body starts to determine, little vibrations go through your veins and into your mind, and you sense that he is now missing organs. And no matter what you did to close the wound, this man will die.
No good.
So you might make it
His organs have
softer,
been
but he
removed.
will.
Danon, who did this? Was it the mechanical man?
Man,
Okay.
man. Where is she?
Danon, we are looking for your daughter. We will find her. Rest easy. What can you tell us of the Stone of Aeglis?
He points into the room.
In there?
Didn't hear that.
He just says, she's there.
Your daughter is in there. We will do what we can. But please, you must tell us of the Stone of Aeglis.
I don't have it.
Where is it?
My daughter has it.
Okay.
I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a piece of jewelry.
Rest easy, friend. Shh.
It's on her neck. It's a necklace. I
Thank
didn't
you.
want any of this to happen.
What are you finding out?
Thank you.
Moxie, I cannot do this, but please, give him the last favor.
Okay.
Rest easy, Danon.
Pieces
Cover his eyes.
of his large intestines start to fall out of his gut.
Cover his eyes.
I did.
And
You see a slice go across his neck as the blade, you feel it hit the rock and through the bone. Blood starts to come down his chest and stain his clothing as his head lurches forward.
I catch it.
Slumps
catch
off
it,
of the
and I
blade
sit-
and into your hands.
I then set it very neatly in his lap. Not facing out, but facing in. Just... Alright, now we need to find her.
He did not deserve such a death.
His was painless, thankfully, but not up until the very end. Not everyone is so lucky. A 15 perception to check the room again to see if I can find her.
I will also search.
Same.
18 plus perception. 4? 3.
I am
21.
I am keeping an eye out for vines in case more
In
of them
case
might
the
trip me
vine
up.
thing comes up.
He
As
is not
you
getting tripped up a second
Lean
time.
forward. As you lean forward, you can make out Grobatha sitting upon her throne, and she starts doing this. And you see a child being levitated in the air toward the altar.
What is happening?
They're going to kill her.
We can't allow this.
Nope.
I'm mule-headed and brash, so unless someone says something soon, I'm going to dive right in there.
You three, get her down.
You
I'll
see
see
a
what I
bunch
can
of
do for the queen.
you see a bunch of goblinoid creatures going over to the throne and starting to.
They're gonna rip her to pieces. We've got to do this quick.
They're
Yep.
grabbing onto the sides of the throne and lifting up Grobitha's throne and start bringing her closer and closer to the altar.
What is the throne
Yep.
made of?
Can I get a clear line
What
of
is the
sight
what?
to one
What?
of the goblins?
What is the throne made of?
The throne seems to be made of an amalgamation of animal parts. You see human bones strewn throughout it and what appear to be some kind of leather-like seating pad.
Well, that won't burn very easy.
Natural 20 to get in the middle and cast sleep.
On.
And as
It is a radius, I believe.
Area of effect.
Ooh.
mhm.
So you all are here at the corner edge, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Who is where? Where in this lineup are you all?
I believe me and Moxie are at the front.
At the front.
Okay.
I took a step back as soon as I finished, but I kept a good eye on the scene. I want to try and strike one of the goblins.
The closest goblin is this one that's in a pickle barrel.
Let me
Pickle barrel.
rephrase that. I want to try and strike one of the goblins holding the throne.
Pickle barrel.
Okay.
Kumquat, pickle barrel. Kumquat,
You're gonna have to get a better vantage point than where you're at.
We're gonna have
From
to get around
where
this
you
corner
are.
and move in.
Her throne is over here.
Okay.
Can I see?
Uh,
I'm looking for some of that tar that the goblins keep carrying around. Just to see if I can spot some.
Roll for me.
Rolling. Blood up. Blood up.
I'm going to wait for Moxie to do her.
19.
Nice.
Plus
AoE.
You
perception.
see a couple of barrels of it that are closer to where her throne was. There
Yep.
seem to be barrels of this black tar substance.
You may need to wait to do that until you can send me across the room to do it. I don't burn.
If we can get the tar on the queen, we may have a chance.
If you can heave me, I will cast sleep and put as many of these things to sleep as I can.
What if I heave and you jump at the same time? That could be fun.
Let's try it.
Whee! 9 plus strength is...
I'm a little heavy
12.
for you, it seems.
I got a 12.
Do you need me to do
So You're trying to heave her
Heave her.
with a 12?
Yep.
No dice, my friend. No dice, my friend.
Well, if
You
we have
go
an order, then let's
to
try
pick
again.
her up and you kind of go, "Ugh." I don't mean to sound
rude?
rude. However, it
I-
does not look like I can hurl you.
Not to be rude, but you're much heavier than the halfling.
I'm not expecting to be the size to weigh as much as a halfling. No. Well,
I mean, if we
from
haven't
your
alerted
vantage
them, I can-
point, if you can stand me on your shoulders, I can then just jump
Very well. That'll work.
Jump where?
into the room.
These
Where in the-
walls with my tiles are half walls. Those walls go up to the ceiling. So the only
no,
way
no, no. I was
into
saying we move out from behind the wall and then
Oh,
he
okay.
launches me.
Okay.
She'll
Alright.
use me as the launch pad into the fray, thereby triggering an initiative roll.
Yes. And probably many attacks of opportunity upon myself if they don't go to sleep.
I plan on readying an action to fire off a firebolt at the queen.
I have to roll 5d8 actually. I need
Okay,
to.
As
so
soon as they
where
jump
are
into the
you all
fray.
wanting to? Where are you wanting to position
Or
yourselves?
not really the queen herself, but one
Here.
of the goblins that's holding the queen's chair. I'd be the southmost left corner.
Right over here.
Yes.
Okay. Next.
So I'm going to just come right around the corner carrying Moxie to help boost her jump. And I intend to rush the room as soon as she finishes her sleep spell to try and rescue the girl.
Nick, what about you?
I am going to take a vantage point, the best one that I can deem, to strike a goblin holding the queen.
From where you are,
That's
are you
what
going to
I'm
move
doing.
forward?
I'm going to move to the best vantage point.
As you all start to come very quietly into this open chamber with blood and bones and pickles and pickle juice all over the place, you're trying to be as quiet as you can possibly be. And as the torches start showing you exactly what's on the ground, and your dark vision can make out that there are tons of vines that are on the floor yet again, right in front of you.
Yep. I can.
You then start to hear,
Welcome, all my dearies, to the time we have been waiting for.
her fat just slumps as she starts to laugh. It starts to jiggle. And she leans back.
Bring her closer on the throne. I wish to see her eyes one more time.
We must stop this now.
Yep.
Yes, that's what I.
Fire when ready.
Yeah.
All right.
That's one.
All right. I make the jump
And
and cast sleep.
yep, and I am casting a firebolt at
So-
the same time to take out one of the goblins that's holding
Okay,
up the chair.
so Kai, are you throwing her? Is that what's happening?
I believe I was hoisting her up to give her
Or
an
hoisting her
elevation.
up?
Yeah, just
Okay,
holding
did you
her up.
roll? What did you roll
I did
to make
not
this
roll.
jump, Moxie?
Let me roll to make that jump.
So that
And
is a-
what is your movement? Because that is important.
so
30 feet is my normal, my average, and that was a 16.
16
for a
total.
30 feet. You land almost right near the altar. And what do you do?
Sleep.
Do you need to roll for the sleep?
It's standard level 1. It's a range of 90 feet,
Okay.
and it says 5d8 is how many hit points of creatures it can affect. And I got a total of 22 hit points, so I don't know how many things actually go to sleep or if Robotha even is affected.
As you leap
Well,
through the air, you then tuck in on yourself and you slam down onto the ground, and with a strum of your instrument, there is a wave of energy that goes throughout, and some of the goblins fall asleep.
oh, hallelujah.
However,
Queen is not.
Grabatha looks over to her left at you.
Well, you made it. Nice try with the sleep spell there, dearie. It doesn't work on old mama.
I'm laughing over the table.
So at this point, I'm rushing toward the barrels.
She then grabs one of the goblins off her teat and she throws it directly toward Leon. Leon, a goblin
Is
grapples
hurling.
onto your face and starts with this black, milky substance dripping from its mouth and starts beating on your face as it's grappled onto you. Everybody roll for initiative, please.
Here we go.
Everyone roll for initiative. Oh, let it be high. 11. Higher than
7.
usual.
10.
11 as well. My initiative is +3.
Mine is only a +2, so you go before I do.
Okay, so totals, everybody, please.
7.
11.
11 plus 1 on top of Izzy's because I have a higher initiative.
Okay.
10.
Leon, you had what?
10, I said.
Okay, so then it would go Moxie, then Leon, then Kai.
Yep.
Fabulous news. First up, Miknik, you get to make your first attack into the fray.
Whatever goblin I have the clearest line of sight on, I aim my crossbow for.
Okay. That would be the closest one to you would be this one that is asleep on the floor.
Do you wish to simply coup de grace? It is asleep for. It wouldn't be hard.
I would go for one that isn't incapacitated.
Yeah, I want to go for one that is still conscious. I would go for a conscious goblin.
Okay. So the only other one that you have any line of sight to, and there's a stalactite that is in your way. It's gonna be a tough shot, but you could possibly make it on the sorcerer.
All right, I'm gonna roll to hit.
Yes. -1 for disadvantage.
That's a 20 on die.
Ooh, nat 20.
Ooh.
He's in the zone! Dang!
Crossbolt at the ready after you see a goblin slung come flinging by you, landing on Leon's face as it's wailing on him. You take aim and you breathe out and you let loose a bolt, and as it's spiraling through the air, you think that it is going to hit this stalactite, and it chinks the rock, and a piece of the rock just flings off as it goes directly smack dab into this goblin sorcerer's skull, and you see part of his eye cave in on itself, and he slumps over dead.
Beautiful.
Next, it is... Alright, so Grabatha is going to now attack, and she gets to attack 3 people that are in her line of sight at a slight disadvantage on each of you. 16 on Miknik, 13 on Leon, and
That
a
hits.
17 on Kai.
Hit.
That's a hit.
Hit. In her hand, she starts having a lightning blast, a lightning ball that she is waving around, and she throws it into the air and arcs off of her fingers and goes directly towards you all, and you get hit by this lightning energy and each take 3 damage. Your bodies start convulsing since they were electrocuted. All right, next up, Moxie, it is your turn. And all the while that you are doing this, this girl is suspended in animation in this bubble of energy toward the top of the ceiling.
How far am I away from that burning substance thing?
Barrels.
Probably about 40 feet.
Mm.
So it'd be a full round to get to it.
Is it possible to use Mage Hand as a cantrip to yank a torch off the into the barrel to light it on fire?
What would that help? It's not affecting anyone in the barrel.
That's true.
Unless we want to light the barrel on fire and then I throw it.
You'll get
Oh,
it all
no,
over yourself.
Donkey Kong.
No.
'Tis up to you all what you wish to do.
I mean, you are closer to the girl. I would say try and get her. That's the priority, right? We don't have to defeat
Yes,
the
it
Goblin
is.
Queen.
But we
Assuming
don't.
we can get out once we have her.
Don't know what I have.
It occurs
And
to me,
Leon
we never
is-
checked whether she was actually holding the necklace, wearing the necklace.
And
That's perception.
did Leon get out of the grapple?
No, I couldn't go and.
He's
make a
still
grapple
grappled right
save.
now.
That's a
That's been returned.
17. That's a 17 to see if it's still on.
You can tell that the necklace is still attached. It's floating along with her, just levitating there. It's on a very simple leather string.
Given that she uses electricity, she's probably immune. That doesn't leave me many options. This is not good. This is not good. I am trying to figure out something to do. Going to try a cantrip of vicious mockery to see if I can distract her.
Okay.
At least enough for the girl to no longer be floating.
Roll for me.
Okay. Oh god, my strength fails me. That is a 2 on die, so that's a total of 7.
You try to sing a song of mockery, and it goes around Grobitha's ears, and you start to see this magical energy of these little lips that almost start to try to mock her, and they just and come right back to you.
The horrid thing named Grobitha is... I can't think of a rhyme!
Your fat is so... Damn it. Damn my asthma.
Yup.
All right. Moxie, that was your turn. Next up, there is a goblin that is going to... 13 to hit on Moxie.
I don't even know what my armor class is, unfortunately.
It should be on your character sheet.
Yeah, it should be at the
Should be
very
there.
top center.
On what page?
D&D Beyond, the main page of your character sheet. Got-
No, it is not.
Are you on D&D Beyond?
Yes.
Okay, just above actions, spells, equipment, features, and traits.
Directly beneath the base stats, proficiency, walking, then there's initiative, then there's armor class. Are you looking at this on your phone or on the computer?
Computer. And the website is not cooperating with me. It literally took me to a page I didn't click on. So we're having a problem here.
That's okay.
Well, it seems like the website reformats itself based on the size of the screen you've got, so that could explain it.
Hit points, proficiency, spell casting.
Should be right below proficiency.
There's nothing really there.
You don't see a box shaped like a shield that says armor class?
No!
Okay.
I
Do you
have leather
see-
armor, but it's not showing me my armor class.
Do you have numbers in a gray box at the top that says Proficiency, walking, initiative, armor. I don't know.
No.
Hey, can you send us a link to your character sheet? We can help you.
I don't know that I can do that because my computer likes to be very, very stupid.
Didn't you share your link earlier?
Yes, it should be.
Ah, that'll help.
Doop, doop.
This is what makes it so very embarrassing to deal with this.
It's okay. Hey, we're still all learning and trucking along.
Progressing.
I am supposed to have armor.
Yes, you are.
I have light armor.
D&D Beyond. Your armor class is 12.
Okay, there it is.
I've got
Yep.
it.
Found it right when he said it.
Yep. Precisely.
Got
You'll
it, got
love
it,
when
got
that happens.
it. So it does not hit you, does it? What did I say that? An 11. So no, that doesn't hit you.
Good.
So she arcs a bolt of lightning and hurls it at you, and you dodge very quickly out of the way. And you roll slightly over to another sleeping goblin. All right, next up, Leon, what do you do?
Rip this goblin off my face and throw it into the vines, hoping the same reaction as what happened last time with.
All right, roll a d20 for me, buddy.
Okay. I want to roll. So that's an 8. I don't know what I have to roll with it. Is that-
Roll your strength modifier with it.
So that's a 9.
So this small goblinoid that was just wailing on your face, its legs wrapped around your torso, you grab it right off and you toss it into these vines, and the creature starts getting wrapped up in these vines, and it starts dragging it down deep as you see only one hand go. You are now not, you're no longer grappled, my friend. Okay,
And
next
you
up.
have fed the creature. It is now pleased.
Okay, so, blah, 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 blah. Kai, Grabatha whispers something into her hand and sends it over your way on a 13.
Am I doing a will save?
You're doing a will save, yes, my friend.
Oh, finally, something good.
15 base roll. I don't know what you do for will. Is that wisdom or intelligence?
Wisdom.
Well, then that puts me at 18.
The energy starts to go around your head, and it comes right back to her, and she looks very pissed off.
Make Mama angry. Make her angry.
All right, next up,
Can't exactly
Kai, it is your turn.
All right, I am rushing toward the barrels with the intent to throw one of them on
What is
Mama.
your movement speed, my friend?
I am not sure where to see that on this.
If you're going full sprint as an average human, it's usually 30.
Walking is
Standard.
30 feet. 30 feet.
Mhm.
So, 10. In which direction? This way, or forward?
As directly toward the barrel as I can.
Okay.
Not entirely sure where in the room it is because I don't think you have it represented.
I don't have any barrel miniatures. That's as far as you can run right now. You are close to the barrels, but you will be able to make it on the next turn.
Woo!
Okay, next up, there is a goblin that moves toward Kai and slashes his blade on a 17 to hit. Kai,
Sorry?
17 to
hit?
hit.
17.
That's a hit.
The goblin slashes its blade right at your thigh, and your thigh splits open and you begin to bleed. The blade just ripping through the sinew, and you feel almost the rust just going through your skin. You can tell that this blade is very dirty. It's a very dirty
I
blade.
have to have Mick take a look at that one.
You take 2 damage, my friend.
Okay. I have to step away for a minute.
No worries. Okay, next up. All right. Grabitha goes in for another lightning bolt that she hurls, and it ricochets off of the walls and hits one of her goblins directly in the face. Its brain
Liquefied.
flats on the wall.
Tasty.
Okay. Next up, we are back at the beginning of the round. Mick, it is your turn.
I am going to fire a crossbow bolt at the queen,
Okay.
aiming for the head.
You're rolling at a slight disadvantage. There's a stalactite that is in your line of sight.
It's a 2 on die plus 3 dex to 5.
As you take aim steadily and with ease, you begin to feel a achoo, and your crossbow bolt fires directly into the ceiling. All right, next up. As Grabitha goes in for another lightning bolt, you hear something down the hallway that you came in at. You hear.
Oh dear.
She hurled the lightning bolt
Interesting.
directly at Leon. It ricochets off of Leon and hits a wall. He narrowly misses. He looks very frightened and frazzled as your hair stands on end.
Puppy!
Darling, there's a
Oh.
puppy on stream. Look. Hey, Kai, could you lift up Pupper?
Very codependent
Aw.
dog here.
Oh,
Sweet baby.
My wife is in awe right now at the doggo.
Yeah, she prefers this position normally.
The noise that is down the hallway is coming closer, ever closer, as you see goblinoids lurching around the corner trying to get at whatever is coming towards you.
I missed something.
Tis the vine critter.
And
The
Yeah.
one that I made laugh hysterically.
through a wall, you see 2 individuals pop out. 2 individuals burst through the wall, and you see a big hammer slam down on the ground, and you see an axe on the back of him, and he lurches up.
Nurgle, so glad you could join us.
How you doing?
Not
Alive.
well.
Alive.
Y'all didn't
but-
come back for drinks. It was a bitch to try to get here.
We'll
You
join you
then
when we
hear
finish.
the other individual.
It is quite smelly in here, I must say.
As he fumbles with some of his tomes as they fall out of his hands, he unscrolls one and begins to read from it. And a huge fireball forms right in front of him. He then launches the firebolt, and the tome that he has singes and disappears, and a large firebolt hits Grabitha's throne and goes directly toward the back to where those tubs of oil are. All of the oil barrels explode, and you see singeing tar start hitting Grabitha on her back and right along her chest as she writhes in pain. You see goblins that were holding her throne all just run away from her and her throne.
Where are you going?
as she
No.
is sitting there and her tiny little legs are flopping back and forth.
What's happening to the girl?
She is still suspended in midair.
How do we get her down?
Well,
You see Grabitha still fixated upon the girl's gaze.
We need some way to fully distract her.
break line of sight.
How are we gonna do that?
Blinder.
I mean, is it possible for me to get close enough to do that?
You are roughly 15 feet away from her at this current point in time.
Could I, in fact, just get on top of her and just...
On top of her, if you make an acrobatics check, that is good enough, maybe.
I mean, whose turn is it?
I mean, or
It
can I
is
get
currently,
around?
it is Moxie's turn.
Is it also possible to get around the side of her to instead make that coup de grace, so to speak, because she's prone?
You may try.
All right.
Moving behind her, or where?
What's the most expedient way?
There is the altar that is right in front of her, and you can possibly make it over some of the goblins to get to her side, given your current speed.
Let's go with acrobatics. It turned out to be a 20 on acrobatics. Or dex check. Dex check. Because I don't exactly have acrobatics.
How do you want to do it?
Most direct route possible.
Leaping onto the altar, she goes up onto the altar, going over goblin bodies and over barrels of pickles, and she takes out her blade and tries to go in to slice off Grabitha's head, and your sword right about 10 feet right beside you gets shot down, and right behind Grabitha from the ceiling detaches.
You son of a fucking whore!
How y'all doing?
I was about to behead a goblin. Thank you.
Y'all are pissing me off.
Was this
You
one of
should
their
have
bounties
left
too?
this alone.
Was this another of your bounties?
This is none of your business.
Well,
I told you that I'm here for the girl. I ain't leaving till I get her.
okay, well, her dad's back there. He's dead.
I know.
He then unfurls his trench coat and he shows you all vials that have human body parts and different body parts collected from people that are lining his trench coat pockets.
As
I
much as it
collected
pains
mine
me,
on him. Now, I need the girl.
as much as it pains me to say this, the girl is not our interest. We are collecting an heirloom from her. Let us take the necklace and we'll be on our way.
Perfectly fine with me. You can get her down. We'll take the necklace. You can have her.
I don't agree with this.
No one asked you, cunt.
Grabitha's legs are just flailing back and forth.
I
All
whack her on
that
the head
I
with my stick?
want is the stone on the girl. Give it to me.
You're not in any position to be making any threats, fatty.
All I want's the girl. So why don't we just go ahead? We'll make us a deal.
His arms split apart into two from his right arm, and he has what appears to be some kind of crossbow gun looking thing pointed directly at Grabitha's head as he starts spinning the saw blade in his other.
And we can do this one of two ways. I can go ahead and kill this bitch, and then we can make some kind of trade. What do y'all want to do?
You can kill her. We don't care.
I
She's
get
in
the
the way.
girl. That's
You
it.
get-
That's
get
the
the
only
girl.
way that this goes down.
We We
As
don't
long
want
as
the
we get the
girl.
necklace, that's fine. Kill the queen.
She has a grieving mother. We want the heirloom. Let us have the necklace, and you can have your way.
Fine.
As he goes to pull the trigger, Grabatha says,
No.
and she fires off this energy that comes from her fingers and her mouth, and it goes around the orc, and it goes around the fox, the kitsune's heads, and you see both of them fixated, and you see the kitsune fall to the floor, and the orc is just sitting there. You see black veins start appearing on his neck. The trigger. Did y'all hear that on stream?
Yeah.
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 For
Like
dramatic effect.
Mhm.
Echoing throughout the cave, Grabatha seemingly with black and red blood spurting onto the cavernous ceiling above. Her fat, limp body hangs thusly in her throne. Another goblin
with the
detaches itself.
For good measure, I'm gonna toss the torch that I'm holding into the black oozy blood,
Okay.
hoping to set her on fire. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Roll.
Yeah, sure. Sure. Roll. 11.
You throw the torch right onto Grabatha's throne, and the blood begins to boil on her as flames start spreading across her body. The girl starts to descend in the air, and the bubble opens, and the girl
Catch her.
falls onto the floor into the man's hands.
All right.
Our
We
deal?
had a deal, didn't we?
Yes,
the
we did.
necklace.
He grabs the necklace and yanks it off of her neck, and he hands it to you all.
I think she's closest, so.
Yeah,
Yep.
she is closest, so he hands it directly to Moxie.
And then I just stow it in my shirt. You don't know where, but it's now on my person. It's fine.
All right. I'm glad that we had this little arrangement. I'll be taking my leave now.
May our
Suppose
paths
you
never
don't-
cross again.
He hikes the girl right up onto his shoulder, and he flips onto the ceiling, General Grievous style, clasping his feet onto the ceiling and going away into a hole above.
Good riddance. Ugh.
Miknik, please see to the kitsune. He does not appear well.
I wish I could, but unless the DM has favor, I've used up both of my slots.
There's nothing that you can do if you've used up your spells. You could try and pray, but
Yeah, I'll do a prayer.
I rolled a medicine check earlier while that cutscene was going on, I guess you could say, to see if I could go and tell if they would be all right, and more or less see if I could help in any way. And it would have only been a 10.
you
How's
try
the,
and apply
How's the orc doing?
medicinal herbs to the kitsune, and you see the black veins starting to crawl across his neck, and the orc is still standing there, very much in pain, as the kitsune looks over to you all, and his eyes grow black and lifeless.
I pray. I probably fail.
I pray.
I will attempt to do another medicine check.
56.
56? What do you roll for prayer?
D100.
I got a 20.
Oh, well then I did it wrong.
Yeah, D100 for prayer. D% as it's called.
You rolled a
Right.
what?
I
Five,
rolled a
six.
20.
56?
I got.
You all begin
30.
praying to each of your gods for help.
And
You see the orcish man's veins start to go back to normal as he releases, but the kitsune, his body remains lifeless on the ground.
Well, then I will carry him out, continuing to pray all the while, even going to do anything.
I try one last fervent prayer and I scream, "Not this way!" 67.
You feel a warmth going through your body as you pray with all of your might into this kitsune for him just to have one breath, and nothing happens.
Holy shit, 97. Like I said, I'm not going to stop praying over this
I
guy.
mean, I had rolled a 20
If
earlier
the
to try and help
97
him.
doesn't work, I'm not sure what will.
Nab,
Uh,
it's a
20 on
deep
medicine.
percent. Oh,
It
for
was
medicine.
for a medicine.
Sorry.
That's why I was trying.
Oh.
I know I don't have any medicine kit or any of that. It was more me trying to figure out if there was anything I could do. Since I don't
Kai's
have any of my things.
prayers are heard, and you see the orcish man gather all of his breath. But the kitsune still remains lifeless.
He's gone.
Alas, there are some who cannot be saved.
He was gone when he hit the ground, I'm sure.
What happened?
The orcish
Giant
man
dead-
looks over at you.
Giant dead twit over there tried to kill you both. You survived. He didn't.
No.
We tried.
He picks up the kitsune's body as he holds it close.
Gore was a good soul. Came a searching for y'all. He had news for you. Said that he had to give it to you personally. When I couldn't find y'all around town. So much time had passed. You've been gone for almost a day. I decided to come looking round. I didn't want none of this.
We didn't either.
Is that?
He looks over on the wall and he sees the beheaded man.
My God.
He goes over to the body that is pinned to the wall. And he picks up the head.
Is this Day-Dan? Is this him?
It was.
He was gone, basically, when we got here.
We did what we could to ease his pain.
But he was beyond saving.
Where's his daughter at?
A bounty hunter has taken her.
How could y'all do that? How could you let him have her?
We did not have a choice.
We had no choice in the matter.
I thought
He'd have
y'all
gutted. He'd
I
have
thought
gutted
y'all were
all
good
of us.
people.
We did what we could. We tried.
This ain't right.
No,
No,
it isn't.
it's not. And if I could, I would go find him right now. That is
Y'all
not what
could
we're
have
here for.
done something at least. You could have tried to kill him. You know what?
We had.
I gotta take a minute.
He goes over into the corner, hunched over by Danon's dead body, and just sits there with his hands right on his head.
I'm gonna go around and finish off all the sleeping goblins to make sure they don't cause trouble.
You do so. As you see Kai going around and to the rest of the goblin horde, a silence is amongst all of you. What do you do?
I did not know your friend.
I quietly take out the stone and study
He
it.
seemed very...
The
Very
stone of Eglis that you hold in your hand, you see. Well, let me draw it out for you.
Can I just say, holy crap on the atmosphere you've made here?
Yeah, really. You've done great.
He's right. I'm going to save this for after DM finishes what he's doing. But my
Okay.
character has had an epiphany.
That is the stone of Eglis.
Just a stone with 3 runes on it.
3 symbols. I'll give you all a chance to kind of draw it down or whatever notes that you want to take on it.
The middle one looks like a dinosaur.
That's what I
Rawr.
think. It's like a kite, a dino head, and a
Kite, dinosaur, donut.
whirlpool.
Cinnamon bun.
Honey bun. Or one of those little pinwheel things from Little Debbie's.
What's the orc's name again? I forget.
Nurgle.
Nurgle, right. Nurgle is right. We didn't try. We didn't fight. We basically threw that girl to the wolves. I'm not content.
He'd have killed us all.
You don't know that.
Oh, I know very well he would have. He's the type who would.
1 to 4. 5, actually. 6, if you count poor Kitsune. We could have had a chance. We didn't even try.
No, we would have been down at least 1 immediately because I was here to him. You'd have lost me in seconds.
Selfish. Is the life of even 1 innocent worth this?
There are many more to be saved.
You say they were
Especially with
bounty
what we've...
hunters. Perhaps they were claiming their bounty for the mother. We don't know.
We didn't say where she was. The goblins were asking for her too. We said nothing.
All we know is that a person had need of the girl. He didn't harm her.
He didn't.
He did leave
So-
her alive.
If nothing else, we know that she's going to be alive.
Then, let us return to the mother. And see what we can see.
And Leon is going to be searching this place looking for his stuff that's been missing this entire dungeon.
You all double back around. Nurgle follows you. He shows you the pathway that he found to get in.
Found? Made?
Made.
Found. He found a path. He did. He made it. He made his
found.
own.
Just
Oh.
And he takes you through, and he finds you find a room filled with sacks of food and all kinds of other things. And Leon spends a good 30 minutes searching through all of this and ends up finding his bag. Your bag
We
is
should take
returned
some
to
of
you
this.
now.
Okay, so at least I have
We
my
should-
items back.
We should take some of this hoard. At the very least, to console
You
the
all
mother.
also find, if you continue to look,
Mm-hmm.
okay. You find one sack that's filled with 30 gold pieces that you all can divvy out however that you wish. You find multiple sacks that are filled with different types of foods. You also find a sack that is filled with 6 different weapons.
What are the weapons?
Normal blades and the like.
Hmm.
There's a bow and arrow that's in it. There is a long sword, 2 daggers, and there's also a shield.
I take a
I
dagger.
will put a dagger in my boot.
You all decide how to divvy that out between yourselves.
Hmm.
Add a dagger to my attack.
The dagger is
Rather.
1d4.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Should we bring back the body of, I assume, the girl's father?
She wouldn't
Yeah.
want to see him this way.
But maybe
We
she
should
would
wrap
have to
him up.
bury her dead?
We should wrap
That
him
is
up.
what I'm assuming.
You
Yes.
can take whatever sack the weapons were in and fit him into that, or fit it to him.
You take the sack and you cut it down along the sides, and you fashion some kind of makeshift
Body bag.
body bag as you stuff his body very messily into it, but it's the best that you got at this point.
I will try my best to shape it into a human form instead of a pile of organs. Keep the trauma as low as we can.
The sack begins to be stained with blood from where his head
Corpses.
was removed from his body, and his organs lay out asunder.
Well, so much for cutting down on the trauma. I guess we'll just carry him then. Haul him away. Let's go.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna grab as much of the food, as much of what's left that I can carry, for what compensation I can give the aggrieved woman.
Mhm.
You all are able to, with the 5 of you, carry about 2 bags of food each.
Okay.
Mhm.
Onward to Danon's house first, I suppose. Oh shoot, it was burning.
Yeah, I don't think his house is still there. We'll pass it on our way out, though.
As you come out of the cavernous hovel that was Grobitha's lair, you get outside, and the bright lights of the smoldering flames and the town lights that are there hit your eyes, and it's a sight for sore eyes. It's almost nighttime outside. A full day has pretty much passed, and it's almost dusk. And you see the house that was Danon's home there's not much left. It's a smoldering wreck. And you see a large gathering of people outside down the hill on the cobble road. You see a large gathering of people outside of the village.
Can we spot the wife from here?
It's just a large gathering of people that you can tell from where you are.
Can we see what they're gathered around?
Not from where you are. There just appears to be a big, like a pole with something on it.
So some kind of
Approach.
procession. Seems like. Yeah.
As you all
Yeah.
walk down the cobble road, still grieving from everything that you have lost at the moment, a heaviness weighs on each of you individually and in your own ways. As you get toward this gathering of people, you see them all in shock and terror, some of them crying even. Do you push your way through?
Yes.
Pushing your way through the crying crowd of people, just moving everyone, you
I'm
come
gonna
to
stay at the back.
you come to a large pole that was once this town's sign, appearing to be ripped from the ground. And on the town sign, you see the body of Aubrey, the little girl, with 2 metal spikes embedded into her, and her stomach cut open with her entrails falling from outside of her onto the streets below. And her mother is sitting right below her near the pole, just down in the dirt in agony, crying with everything that she is.
I set down Danon and the food, and I walk away. I don't even know where I'm going, just walking away.
I follow Kai.
I set down the gold. All 30.
You see the orc man, Nurgle, just wells up with tears as he falls to his knees, holding the woman tightly, bawling his eyes out.
I approach the couple with a few quiet words. Care for each other. And you may find solace. Be well.
The man turns behind him and says,
You could have done something.
I should have.
Go!
I then look at the rest of the party. We have somewhere to be. Let's go.
I'm already long gone.
Yeah, I followed Kai. Not sure what Nev's
left
character
in
has
your
been doing.
wake as you look back at the town of Basinham.
Well, I was making sure that the body and all that was taken to them, specifically
I
instead of being
then-
left in the road.
And then I very quietly just kind of go, psst, psst, and I start just tugging you along with me, Leon. It's just like, psst, psst, psst,
Yeah,
let's go.
The town of about what was 38 people, now down to 35 individuals, are outside of the village, all looking up in shock and terror as you see upon the hill the smoldering remains of the Danon household as you come back upon your ship that you came here on. And the driver looks at all of you, and he hits a lever. The ship's drawbridge allows you to get on.
I climb in.
I
Yep.
climb in, sit next to Kai.
I sit as distant from everyone as I can manage, and I'm not content.
Leon?
Hmm?
What of yourself?
I imagine I get in. He's still kind of unsure
Shell
of
shocked.
what happened. Yeah,
You imagine?
You all
That's
get
what the
in
whole
and
game
the-
is, man.
it's the
The doors
fact that he just died.
close
Girl,
themselves
Going to be okay. Die, etc.
as you see right before you all take off. You see a person running toward you all,
Hold.
and they just they slam down a sheet of paper, and it has a black handprint on it. And it says, they look at you, and it's this young woman, probably about 17 years old. Don't come here again.
We've brought you too much misfortune to think of it.
She
Thank
turns
you.
and walks away as this piece of parchment with this blackened, smeared hand with blood embedded into the page is just laying right there.
I take it and tuck it in my bag. Actually, no, I just stare at it.
I take it. I feel like we'll need to explain to our benefactor.
I then look at the driver. Life's a cruel thing, isn't it?
No need to tell me twice.
Away
I
we should
think
go.
that you all didn't have a good time.
No,
No
no,
one
we
did.
did not.
Did
Town
you
is
get
worse
what
for
was
our
asked
arrival.
of you?
Yes.
Yep.
At great cost.
Then that's all I care about. He then puts the machine into motion as the wings unfurl and begin flapping you all into the night sky.
I look at my party members solemnly, slowly. Are we the bad guys?
No,
Certainly not good today, are we?
we had different priorities. Not every life can be saved. Even if they should, they can't always be saved.
But we can all try to save every life. Even if we fail.
There is failing, and there is recklessly dying.
We failed by not trying. I would rather fail by... I vow now that
Recklessly,
I will never abandon a life to an unknown fate again. And if I fail, I fail. But at least I fail on my terms.
then you will likely die in such a pursuit.
So be it.
You may find yet that you renege on that when you find how wonderful life can be. It's a hard thing to be willing to give up. At the best of times.
Leon, you don't have as much attachment to what happened just now. However, you still feel the uncomfortable nature of it all to you. It's all so new coming from Shimmerberry. There's no violence that ever takes place there.
You think because I was cloistered in a monastery for all of my life that I don't understand the beauty of it. Hold your tongue, tiefling. Speak not of what you do not know.
You have been cloistered. There is a great bit you don't.
You know nothing of me.
I know of the world. It is not a caring place. Not for the weak, not for the different, not for the ill.
Kai, would you like to tell us your backstory?
What a way to say it.
What? Oh, way to shatter! God, I mean, we needed to because I was about to start bawling, but
Way to shatter the immersion.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, no, that was over the table laughter in game. The tone is still the same. Need I set the mood again?
no!
Oh, look,
I think we're good.
are all setting a funeral.
I think at this point I would just fall into sullen silence. Because nothing I can say about my history can explain the reaction I'm having. But I'm definitely this angry about what happened. Yeah. I mean, see, that's just it. I don't think that I would explain my backstory at this point because it's something I've been trying to ignore for most of my life. I mean, other than the reason I was kicked out of the monastery.
I think we probably just all sit out this ride in relative silence,
Yeah.
aside from the occasional milling about.
I was honestly thinking I wasn't going to say anything.
You all grow silent as the ride continues, and the chill of the night sky fills the air and starts chilling you to the bone. Some of you start to daze off. Leon, your mind starts to get that same glow. As your eyes open, there's a figure standing in front of you that says again, "He is coming. He is coming."
Why do you keep telling me this? I-
As the voice starts to dissipate, "He is coming. He is coming." He is coming. 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 He You wake and try to act like you're asleep again. Moxie, as your eyes glaze over with black, you are filled up to your neck in this weight, and all that you can see around you is just this blackened pool, and out from the middle of it, a shadowy figure stands as it says,
Ulak, Aitor, Ulog, Ikbreg.
One day I must learn what it is you're saying.
you awaken yourself. Kai, in your dazed, dreamlike state, you see a man on an owl bear looking back at you, laughing, and you see another, what appears to be a monk in simple robes with these large beaded necklaces that come to a point, looking at you, and he starts to nod his head, and he waves as your vision comes back to. And Miknik, while you're trying to sleep, you feel this cold touch wrap around your neck and let go. And as you all look out into the night sky, each of you trying to pretend that you are still asleep, you see the citadel once more, going into the sky in all of its beauty, in all of its gothic nature. And you start to land. And as you land, the doors come out.
I am first to disembark. I am glad to not be there anymore.
With the paper in hand, I follow Moxie.
Same. Minus the paper, of course.
The doors to the citadel open as the three daughters greet you at the doorway. "Welcome back," says the eldest one. "Have you
Thank you.
retrieved it?
Yes.
Then our father will see you now." As
Very
they
well.
take you back into the throne room, the doors open wide. The bats that are in the rafters all come out in a scurry and fly out the window, and you see the Mikage sitting atop his throne, reading a book. It is none of your all's.
No. We have found it.
Allow me to see the stone. Very good.
He levitates it through the air as it comes to him.
I greatly appreciate your assistance.
I hope you appreciate the sacrifices that went into getting this.
In my many years of living in this world, I have made great sacrifice. The lives that you have saved today by bringing me this stone is at a small cost to what we could have lost.
The bear is just the actions we did not take.
These actions were yours and yours alone.
Given your predicament, I'm sure you made the decisions you deemed appropriate at the time.
Please don't lecture me. I understand the consequences of my actions.
He then moves the stone forward to all of you. Hold this stone in your hand. Each of you. You all grasp the stone, looking at it, and it is almost as if fire is on your hands as you touch it. You can feel this extreme power emanating from it as you see each of the symbols sitting there almost glowing with an ember-like quality. As you pass it down to each of you, holding it in your hands, you each feel this. Do you feel the power that courses through this stone?
Yes.
Hmm?
This stone and each of you are very much alike. Who all has had the stone at the current moment? Okay.
She's held it
Moxie
pretty much
has
the whole
it.
time.
And then it goes down to whom?
Goes down to me.
You next. You hold it in your hands and you feel the power coursing through your veins. Who do you pass it to next?
I offer it to Kai.
I'll take it.
And then
Pass it on to Leon, who I still don't know what he is. What is he?
A half elf.
Oh, okay. So you're another halfling, just not a short one.
the stone then comes directly back to him. This stone is very important to me. I'm very glad to have it in my possession. If you all seek refuge here for the night, I will offer you your rooms again.
Did he just say refuse?
Might have misheard him.
That would be very much
We are
appreciated
most
indeed.
grateful.
Yes.
In the morning, I will be holding my own personal ceremony to congratulate all four of you on this most joyous occasion. You will be treated as heroes in the eyes of the Mikage Sujaro.
Excellent.
Hold your heads up high. You now play a part that is bigger than yourselves in this world. You and you alone have reshaped this world. My daughters will take you to your room. Goodbye for now.
Good night.
Mm-hmm. I wish you a good evening, sir.
Yeah. The daughters, all three, are standing there looking very poised. Would you like to be taken to your room?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
They bring you down the great hall again, and you are found at your all's rooms, and now, Leon, you must choose a room of your own.
Let's see if you end up that says password.
That was a fun one.
That was fun.
No idea what.
Are
Toll's
we,
room has a password.
are we left in here without the ladies?
They are taking you to your rooms, and they stand in front of you. Is that all that you need?
I think we'll be okay.
Would you like any food or beverages?
I'll take some food.
I have all that I need.
You will find food in your room.
Thank you.
They then bow gracefully as they head out back down the hallway.
I do not like how he said we have reshaped the world.
I
The
don't
world was
either.
fine as it was.
I don't know
We
about
have
fine,
reshaped it.
but
The reason we have reshaped it is we did not allow their ritual to continue.
Reshaped it to what?
I
We
guess
have
that's
kept it
something we
as
have
it
to find out.
is. Grobitha was going to use the stone to do something. What, I can't imagine. But we have reshaped the world by bringing this artifact back.
I thought the whole idea was preventing something from happening. Maybe I'm paranoid.
One does not necessarily imply that the other is not going to be true. We have reshaped it by keeping it as opposed to letting it change.
Perhaps I'm worrying too much.
I think it would be
Sure.
wise for us to get some rest.
Door, please open.
The owl-shaped hole in the door, the wooden piece, starts to slink out and comes at you. Password.
Please open.
Okay. As it back into the door, your door opens.
I go in.
Leon, you are
Shut
presented
it behind
with
me.
3 rooms that are next to you.
I am feasting.
The halfling feasts.
What do the doors look like?
There's one door that appears to be made of solid metal. There's one door that is wooden, and it has this beautiful, intricate design on the front of it, and another is just a plain wooden door.
I guess I'll try the plain wooden door.
As you head to the plain wooden door and you open it, inside of your room, you see what appears to be a ghostly figure standing in the middle of your room as it wisps away into your closet. Other than that, it's a beautiful room filled with very lavish furs and tapestries.
Hello?
Nothing is said.
Lead go and ask once more near the closet. Hello, is anyone in there?
A womanly figure comes out again, and you see 2 bite marks in her neck as she floats away from you.
Let me see.
And she goes through the wall.
Upon the morn, can I use comprehend languages to figure out what was being said to me?
You may try.
Okay.
I mean, he wouldn't be able to sleep for a little while, so he's going to be trying to figure out what those symbols on the meant.
And I'm going to meditate on the day's events and exhaust me.
Leon meditates and tries to regain his composure through the night.
You mean Kai?
Or, what did I say?
You said
Leon.
Leon.
Oh, sorry. Kai, yes. Kai meditates through the night, trying to regain his composure. Leon, what are you doing?
Trying to decipher what the runes on the stone were.
Going through all of your studies, you can tell that it is a very old and ancient relic, but you can't make out much more than what you've read about how ancient it is, and that it has the power to reshape reality in some way.
Interesting.
It is known in your studies as the Great Cinder Flame.
Interesting. After that, he'd prepare his spells and then head off to bed.
Mick, what have you?
I eat and go to bed.
Okay, simple
I
enough.
think
Moxie?
after the celebration in the morning, we should call it a night.
It's up to y'all.
Well, that
Whatever
largely
you wanna do.
depends on what happens at the celebration.
Yes.
I
We
have,
might continue.
I personally have misgivings about what's going to happen at the celebration.
Should we wait
I
for the celebration to occur next Saturday?
Speaking out of character, I feel as though the celebration might be something more sinister than we expect.
I don't get that impression, but
I write down the words that have been spoken to me many, many times. So that way in the morning I will have it where I can see it.
Okay.
And perhaps use like an hour or so to decipher it.
I will say
Okay.
Kai is perhaps a bit more paranoid about the motives of the vampire than most of the rest of the party.
I would like to go exploring, but I don't want to spend the RP time doing that tonight because I'm tired.
I mean,
I will say this. Let us continue for a little bit longer
Okay.
okay.
to the celebration.
Okay.
Can do. And then after
Um,
that, I shall
Moxie,
prepare nachos.
Moxie, I want you to roll a d20 for me.
11 on dice.
You are able to see in your dreams as this entity is speaking to you, the letter I comes to you.
The letter I.
Yes.
Okay.
Thane, when we get to the celebration, I feel you need to add this music to the stream. Whoops, I did not copy it properly. I did a Control V instead of a Control C.
As you all sleep through the night and do your various studies and meditations, the morning comes and the bright, shining light and warmth of the sun hits your eyes as you awake.
I'm gonna get used to that.
As your dreamlike states start to come into your mind and you start to just come to, you remember all of the people that were there and all of the actions of the yesterday's time in the great city that is Basinham.
I consider
Can't
the
Forever.
consequences of my actions. I hold them close to me, and I steel myself to continue forward. And I step outside with all of my things.
I gather myself and say, yesterday has passed. It is time to move forward.
There are knocks at each of your doors.
Oh, I was already leaving.
I
As you
come
go
in.
to leave, you grab the handle, and on the other side, you see the daughters clad in these very elegant celebratory robes of these oranges and reds with this yellow filigree that comes up into their collars.
Ah,
Why do
right.
I think of the air nomads with their It's so pretty.
It's the color scheme is very similar, yes.
I forgot about your wake-up calls.
That
morning.
is fine. I do apologize if I've scared you in any way.
Not at all.
Merely a passing startle. Pay it no mind.
They then escort you all down the great hall and up a winding staircase to the top of the citadel. And as you get out onto the big platform that is on the top of the citadel, with these spines that come almost into a dome-like shape, with these beautiful stained glass window panes that are in between each of the thorns, the light shining in is causing all kinds of beautiful colors. These reds and yellows and oranges that are coming down onto everyone. And you see the Mikage in even more regal looking clothing in the same colors. And you also see other individuals that are just around the tables and things like that. The daughters go and say, "This is your joyous occasion. Eat and be merry."
I'm a little hesitant to get close to, say, a couple of other people if I recognize anyone. But other than that, trying to be as relaxed as possible.
No one that is here at this current point in time you all recognize. There are a few individuals that are in these similar robes. There is a woman with this greenish skin tone that is also standing around a table, and a large individual that has these big pauldrons that are coming up with cloaks that are of the same color.
I feast.
Of course, the halfling feast.
As you start digging into the feast, the Mikage is standing on top of this higher platform where another throne is seated. And he stands and says, "May this joyous occasion begin." And all of these spirits start to come from all around you all, and they start playing instruments as they start playing these beautiful orchestral pieces
Supernatural spirits.
that are
For
around
some
you
reason,
all.
I thought you were meaning alcohols were flying out of the walls.
No.
Catch!
No.
There are
There-
alcohol spirits, though. In Japanese lore, there are alcohol spirits, but they're not very friendly.
That is true. But they're these bluish, white, see-through spirits that are going up into the sphere, into the dome, and they're just playing these orchestral sounds. And then the Mikage says, after about 40 minutes of enjoying the music and stuffing your faces, the Mikage says, "We are all gathered here for a joyous occasion. The world of Thiratil as we know it is changing, my friend. These four brave people stand before me. Hold out your hands, heroes of the realm."
I put my hands out.
I smack the food out of his hands. Show some respect.
Yes.
Each of your
Items.
relics that you had are floating around him, and he has these coins that start coming out of his hands and going over to you all. And the coins are this bluish purple in hue, and they land in your hands. "This is a very rare substance called nibium. I give it to you to do with as you please. It sells for quite the hefty sum. It is also able to be transformed by whatever means into whatever you want. I will now ask some of my guests to come." And these two cloaked individuals come and sit at a table. "I'm going to tell you, the four of you, a story. When I was a young man, and I did not have these features you see before you today, I was once like you, so naive in my ways. I did not know the power that I possess. I held the stone of E-glass for the first time in my dreams, knowing one day I would have it in my possession again. I thank you for this. It allows me to know that our Lord and Savior is going to come once again. And everyone around him starts, yes, yes, yes. I want 2 of my loyal associates to now present you with some of the finest presents that I can give. And the 2 individuals stand, and one of them hunches back over and grasps his hands like this. And you see long fingers that come to a point. And he lifts his hood, and it is the tax collector. The other man that is in the hood lifts his down, and he puts on a hat and tips it to you all as you hear his mechanical legs over to you all.
It was all connected.
Who'd have known?
The tax collector
Discord's voice
Children.
does not like that voice at all.
Not in the slightest.
Children, we finally are able to speak. Leon, you have done well, child.
You know him?
I've read many of your tomes you left. They've been very enlightening.
as his smile creeps across his face and blood starts to drip from the smile.
I'm glad.
You all were in the right place at the right time.
He holds out his hand.
Hold your hands out, children.
As he starts to drip red coins into your hands. Across all of you, 5 coins land in your hands.
My gift to you.
5 each or 5 total?
5 for each of you.
Oh.
5 each.
And then the man, his metal legs, you hear, come up to you.
This right here is the best I can do.
As he hands you vials of what appear to be some kind of potion. And he gives each of you one.
There you go. My gift to you.
Your other gift was not gutting me.
As they go back, the Mikage stands from his throne. These gifts go to our heroes. They are the ones that have made it possible for our Lord and Savior to return to us. Behold, these relics that they brought to me willingly are powerful enough for us to awaken the stone of Iglas. as your books and trinkets levitate toward the center, you see a spiraling cone come out of the middle of the citadel, almost like a well, and energy starts flowing up from it as all of your relics start spiraling around it.
What is this?
Children, I want to thank you. Everything that I have done for you all is to bring you to this moment. Do you think it was coincidence that each of you arrived in Timbervale? Do you think it is coincidence that you met my tax collector? Do you think it is coincidence you met my friend, this lovely curator of organs? These individuals that I have around me wish to thank you. It is not coincidence that I was able to find where the Stone of Eglass was. It was not mine. I never had it in my possession. You hear his daughters start.
You lied to us this whole time.
Well,
The stone was given to the girl on her 6th birthday by her mother, and her father went playing with her in the swamp. My good friend Grobetha, I decided to bribe into getting them. I had my lovely bounty hunter get Mr. Leon and bring him to where I told you to go so that the 4 of you could witness your potential together. You all have powerful spirits, and it is because of you that our Lord may return to us now.
And who is your lord?
The great Cinder Flame himself.
I end up.
All
I mutter
upon-
the phrase.
Huh?
The phrase that's been repeating in my head. I start yelling.
You start saying, Ulak Iktor Yulog Ikbreg.
Repeatedly.
You feel a dark energy surrounding you, and the Mikage grasps a hold of you and starts holding you in the air. You'll try to resist what is but natural. His return means everything.
All right,
To you.
time for this party to end. I try to grab my bracelet.
Your bracelet is in a magical spell spiraling up into this thing of magical energy.
I'm gonna try and get anything out of there that I can. This needs to stop.
You may try.
All right. Boom. 4. Damn.
You see that same ghostly presence that that you all have been feeling. You see a skull with a energy around it that comes right past you all and into this energy as it shoots up, and the Mikage lowers the dome, and as he does this with his hand and shows you a veil, the same black veil that you saw in Basinham, and it shows you a picture of the town of Basinham. At this town there was much sadness. Am I correct?
Yes.
More so when we left.
The most tragic thing that could happen. A mother and father lose their daughter. A mother loses her husband. As I once have lost my family. I offer these sufferings to you. Arise, my lord, from your slumber. And in the town of Basinham, you see a spiraling cone of flames begin to tear asunder the rum pub, the potion shop. Everything starts getting taken up in a flame of energy as you see this skeleton start to come out of the flames.
Yeah,
And
I want to
its
try
head-
and grab an artifact again.
Yeah.
Is no one else going to try to stop this?
There is nothing you can
Damn
do,
it.
young monk. He throws you back against a wall. You all fight what is only natural. I tried to do the same many years ago before I became what I am. But our Lord will show you the true way. You see these muscles and tendons start to wrap around the skeletal structure as you see a draconian figure unfurl its wings. Flames.
Let loose a dragon.
The flames shoot across the wheat fields, burning that and the forest that was around. And you see how large this dragon is as it unfurls, and you see a red and gold tint to its scales as it comes back, and it is coming out of the flames like this, looking at its hands as it roars into the sky. And you see from the citadel, you see a large thing of fire go into the sky, and you feel its roar slap you in the chest, the sounds that have traveled so far, and it just takes off into the sky. Your items then all fall to the ground. You may pick up your relics. I thank you again for changing this world.
So we brought a dead dragon. We brought a dead dragon back to life.
You have brought back a god
And what are we to do now?
into our world.
I mean, I'm
thank
going to go ahead and pick up my bracelet, but
I mean, I'm just staring at my book, wondering how the hell this thing managed that, but
As you all feel betrayed, and this anger is welling up inside each of you, as you see what happened to the town of Basinham, knowing that each and every single life that was there was snuffed out in an instant. You all look up at the Mikage. Moxie, your eyes go black, and a black energy starts to surround you. Kai, your entire body starts glowing the same energy around you and comes to your fists. Leon, you see a figure of an individual that comes out from you and is standing there and pulls out a sword made of pure white energy. And Miknik, you feel this cold presence come over you and put its hands on your shoulders once again and whispers, "You are safe, my child." As you all start unleashing, unknowingly to you, these different energy blasts. Kai, you just start punching this stream of energy. Moxie, you shoot a dark beam
Damn
at
right.
the Mikage, and the Mikage flies back into a wall as he says, "Kill them!" Miknik, you are taken into another plane of existence as a rip in time and space opens wide enough for you all to make it through if you so choose.
I am headed through. After
with
grabbing
the book,
Yeah,
with the likely evil book of death, through I go.
I grab mine and head on through.
I mean, it's surely death to stay here, so with my bracelet in hand, I
I will be right back.
follow
The child is awake and screaming.
That's okay.
the child.
And the portal seemingly closes as you all are in a place that you have no idea where you are. It is cold and it's snowing.
Ah, a curse
Oh,
on
boy.
snow.
I
and
told you. I
ice.
told you I did not trust them.
I don't trust vampires either, but that doesn't mean a lot when they can kill you in a nanosecond. Oh, there's the baby.
Change the world. Well, you know what we must do? We must change it back.
Weary. I know. All right, we need to wrap this up so that little bit can eat.
Okie dokie.
Seems reasonable.
Because she is angry goblin when she's hungry.
You all are currently in a place that is snowing and very cold, as I said, and the world has now changed. You have awoken something. You know not what it is, but you know that it is out there. And that is where we leave off until our next adventure next week.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Yes.
We're
We
gonna-
hope you didn't cry too much. We weren't expecting the sudden departure in tone.
Yeah, that went dark
Yeah, it did.
quickly and for a while.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We will catch you in the next stream next Saturday around about 7-ish. Keep an eye on our Twitter at GeeksMaking or join our Discord. See you next time.
Let's go.
Bye!
Bye.
Bye.